competitors this morning at the 2024 Girls Division II Team State Championships.
two of the Division I girls finalist teams. Maybe on 15 and 16 after this match starts.
I was like, oh, I hope I wasn't like I did okay, didn't cut you guys off. Just trying to stay in my lane, like.
That's perfect. Just be you all the time. Bowling absolutely needs more of what you're bringing to it.
Hey, I don't think you have a long enough cord.
Yeah. It's like 4 miles.
Oh, yeah.
A pleasant good morning again to you from the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley here in Ashuwaubenon, Wisconsin, a suburb of Green Bay, as Championship Sunday rolls on at the 2024 Wisconsin High School Bowling Club Annual State Championships. It is the 26th edition, and BowlStreamTV live and indirect, and we appreciate you being here with us. My name is Emil Williams Jr., joined for the last 4 years, but it's his 10th year in this position. ESPN Madison's Jesse Nelson, and courtesy of Storm Bowling this weekend, we are joined by the wonderful Jasmine Gigi Mason. First and foremost, again, hello to both of you. It's wonderful to see both of you again. We just watched an incredible singles showdown in both the boys and girls divisions, and now we transition into the team event where we know Baker competition can be the greatest equalizer. You see energy, you see a lot of rhythm, a lot of spare shooting, and you know, for teams that can get going, they can get hot and start striking. Jesse, you've been a part of this thing as well. First and foremost, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Emil. Thanks so much for having me and for having Gigi as part of the broadcast here. This is an extra bonus, and we can't express enough how appreciative we are of your time sticking around for this team championship. These two teams that are meeting in this Division II Girls Championship, Merrill and Waukesha North. You want to know how close this has a chance to be? First seed Merrill, qualifying total 2,531 pins. Second seed Waukesha North, 2,530.
Wow.
One pin separating the number 2 and the number 1 seed, which basically meant Merrill got to go to the swimming pool last night at the hotel, and Waukesha North had to sweat it out in the stepladder final. They earned their berth here. Waukesha North is in it, the North Stars, and Merrill wants the chance to close out a championship. These two teams have not been on this stage anytime recently, if ever. So for these squads, for these communities, for these teams, this is an awesome experience for them to get a chance to try and win a championship here this morning.
Wow.
Gigi, you talked about obviously enjoying Baker and kind of bringing you back to your collegiate days. What is it about Baker in this format that you enjoy so much?
It's just the energy. Yeah.
There it is. Well timed.
There's enough, right. It's the energy for me. It's the, no matter what you do, your teammates are there to support you and they have your back, and, you know, just being into each other's shot. And, you know, and also, too, the momentum shifts. I think those are very interesting. You know, if a team has maybe an open or a split, you know, the momentum could actually shift towards the other team. A lot of ups and downs, but for me, it's definitely the energy. So. Oh, see? Like that. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, Merrill! Yeah.
Merrill squad getting after it here. The Waukesha North team starting on the left-hand side. 2-game total pin count is the format to determine who will be the champion. It's an incredible atmosphere. They're packed in still here at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley. Championships on the bottom of the hour, every hour for the next 4, and it starts with a strike for Waukesha North.
Yeah.
This is where you've had your coffee, you've slept off the huge day of yesterday, where for many of these bowlers they go to 15 games of qualifying, plus those who participated in the singles qualifying round 2 at night. And then, like in the case of Waukesha North, they had to come back and bowl last night. They're here till 10:30 in the evening, 11 o'clock before they're getting home. And then the quick turnaround knowing you're competing for a championship this morning.
Exactly.
By the time you get here to 10:30 a.m. on a Sunday, you are ready to go. And that's exactly where these teams are at.
And it's all worth it, too, honestly, especially as a player, certainly as a coach as well. But to go through what they went through, you know, to buy a pen, to have to bowl more, you better believe I'm happy to be back early because I got a chance to win a state title.
Exactly.
Waukesha North last night, as they start with a strike and now leave, is that 3
It sounded like a
Oh, a
foul.
foul
It was
is
a foul.
called.
Okay.
Okay, I missed that. Thanks for the pointing out. Yeah, we see it there. So a foul on that second shot of the second frame, and that's the nerves and the jitters that could be potentially creeping up here early stages of the championship match. Waukesha North took down a powerhouse last night. We're used to seeing a very loud, a very proud Campbellsport community come out and support its girls bowling squad. Campbellsport got beat. They were the 3 seed last night. Waukesha North took them down. So if you're going to go and play for a championship, you might as well take down the big dogs in the state. Campbellsport has been that the last couple of years. Waukesha North beat them. They have earned the right to play in this championship match here this morning.
Oh, there goes the 9 pin. Another one. As DJ Khaled would say, another one.
Absolutely.
These 9 pins are just so killer when you think you have
Unfortunately.
such a great shot. Waukesha North and Brooklyn counted on a foul on the first ball. So a spare, and they're clean through 2. Waukesha North from District 1, the southeast part of the state, the largest district for Wisconsin high school bowling. That's the greater Milwaukee area. It's the district I used to compete in at Muskego High School. Waukesha, Muskego, McGuanago, Oak Creek, Franklin. Bunch of squads that have been such great teams year after year after year at these state championships. Great performers.
You know what's interesting? When we talked about the energy, I know it's loud in here because my watch just dinged and said you're in a loud environment.
That's so great.
Sound levels hit 90, how do you say, decibels?
Yep.
Yeah. So my watch is saying it's too loud.
Well, you know, it's funny. When Jesse sent me a text a couple days ago and just said, you know, greatest weekend of the year. And I told him about a week ago, I just started hearing his voice in my head, which let me know that it was time for this event to come up.
You got to go see somebody about that, Emil.
Yeah, you know, when you do this for so long, man, things start to get wired a little differently.
Oh, man.
I don't need an alarm. I just need Jesse's voice to tell me.
Yeah.
Waukesha North didn't need an alarm to start this match. They are awake and ready to go with a clean start through 3, leaving a makeable spare here in the 4th frame as well. The open for Merrill came in frame number 1. They've gone spare strike since. Now their first shot of the 4th frame. Looking like it's stayed a little too far out to the right. And this is so difficult and fun at the same time for these bowlers because you only get 4 balls to throw to decide a championship today. So you take all those practice shots, you take all these, all the season that you're thinking and going over, and you're trying to come up with what's the right move, what do I need to do, what equipment do I need to use, and it all comes down to 4 shots when you're in this Baker format for a chance to win a championship. It's just an incredible, difficult challenge.
And that's why I actually enjoy the Bakers and the team format, because you really only have a couple shots to just make the best shot that you can no matter what happens, you know, and then you're relying on your teammates more. So I think it's a great environment to be in.
You think about some of these matches that the teams play, if it's a best-of-9 format, or I know some districts do it a little bit differently, but if you're playing essentially 7 to 9 games every time you're in a match, and then sometimes you're doing double headers on Saturdays, 2 games, like, it takes you that long to just figure it out sometimes.
That's a really good point.
Today, you get the 2 games to decide whether you're going to be a champion forever or if you're going to be in second place
Heck
forever.
Of a point.
Wow.
Merrill doesn't want second. They're the #1 seed. They wanted to be decided by more than 1 pin today with a strike in the 5th frame. Great shot. Chance to flip the lineup now and finish strong heading into the turn.
Doubleheader, that's a baseball term, right?
It is, yes.
Okay, you see, because
you're going to know so much about baseball by the time we're done today.
You said doubleheader, and I was shaking my head agreeing like I knew you were talking about, but I had to make sure I asked because I had no idea. But now I see, for the chat, if you don't know, it's never bad to ask. Just, it's okay. No stupid questions, just ask if you don't know.
Marley Krieger in the anchor position for the Merrill program, and of course Krieger was one who competed in the state singles competition earlier today, finishing 5th place in the state competition, earning a $100 scholarship. But the amount of bowling that Marley has done this weekend has just been incredible. With the singles competition, 6 games of individual qualifying, 15 games with the Merrill team to get to this point to be the #1 seed, and now bowling earlier today at 8:30 in the morning, out of the gates, and then now the first team competition here at the championship round.
It sounds like a tour stop to me.
Doesn't
it? Like, we just have a lot of bowling in a short period of time, and then you have to wake up and come back and do it all over again. So, see, pros already.
And some of these bowlers may be used to that, depending on how seriously they are into things.
Agreed.
Like they may be in some of these youth tournaments. They may not.
Yeah.
Like some of these bowlers, they may just be on this team, and that may be the extent of what their bowling experience has been.
Yeah.
So it's different for each individual. I think some of the singles competitors, you may expect that they'd be in more of the youth tournaments. I don't know about traveling around the country, but for sure around the state in some capacity. But it's definitely not the norm to do this much bowling for these bowlers over the course of a weekend.
Yeah. That looks like 3 in a row?
It is 3 in a row for Merrill in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And you talk about making the adjustments. Anchor bowler sets it with a strike. 1-2 come in the 6th and 7th. That's 3 in a row for Merrill. Waukesha North still trying to figure it out. They've been able to make most of their spares. Unable to convert going across the lane. That's been a difficult shot all day. And these patterns here at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley, more difficult than what these bowlers are used to competing on all season long, which makes those types of shots going across the lane more difficult with how thick it is in the middle.
Right. Challenge patterns for sure. So I do have a question for, I don't know if you guys know, but maybe for those who are in the chat listening. So how many, it looks like 2 matches, right? Like 2 games in this match?
2-game total pin count.
Are they switching lanes, or are they remaining?
So they do switch lanes in between.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't think there's any practice when you go to the other lane, which makes it even more difficult that you don't even get a chance to find out how this one's playing compared to where you just came from.
Gotta figure it out.
You're going in blind, and it's always one of the challenges, but it's an even playing field for both teams to do it. That's always what you can take solace in. It's frustrating. I can speak for that. How come we don't get to practice on this? Like, this is so different than what we've done all season long, but it's an even playing field. You figure it out and you sprint to the finish.
Exactly. Our sport shouldn't even be called bowling. It should be called figure it out, because that's literally what you're doing the entire time.
Good spare for Waukesha North in the 8th frame, coming out of that single pin spare miss in the 7th. So now can they finish strong in the 9th and 10th? As long as what's the number that you two think that you need to be within as you hit the flip to game 2? Because we've seen comebacks of 50, 60 pins at different points. I always feel like once you get past 35, 40, you start to get a little nervous that you won't be able to make that up. But we saw a couple of teams last night with some big comeback performances in the stepladder finals.
I don't know. Like, oh, wow, another strike.
Another strike. That's 5 in a row for Merrill. Every bowler in the lineup contributing to a 5-strike stretch.
You know, I feel like you just never know. You know, what I've learned, and especially last year in the season for me, I just really took the competitors out of play and just focused on the lane. And as we just talked about figuring it out, you know, what is the lane asking me to do? And then try to make the best shots that I can and really go from there. So as far as how many pins to overcome, I don't really know. I feel like I'm yelling in the mic. just do what you can and really just see if that's enough, you know, at the end. Oh, I got louder.
Yeah, I turned our mic volume up so we can hear one another a little better.
Marley Krieger is the anchor bowler for the Merrill Tomahawk Co-op program. And she goes Brooklyn to get all 10.
Just saw Marley in the singles.
6 in a row.
Oh, my gosh.
What a run for Merrill.
To that question, Jesse, we had some matches that, you know, seemed out of reach last year, but the opponent made a run late to try to take a state title away. And I think 50 to 60 it's harder in a 2-game scenario, obviously. This is a 3-game deal. 60 pins is not a lot. You could even go to 100.
Right.
I think 50 pins is where you'd want to be to still feel comfortable like you can make a run at it.
Right.
But that's huge from Waukesha.
Yeah, this is an important run for Waukesha North at the end of this match. Even though Merrill is putting it on right now with all of these strikes in a row, make it 7 for Krieger with one more shot still to go in the 10th frame.
That was a great shot.
If Waukesha North can finish one more strike here to get to 4 in a row to finish, that would set them up to be still in a decent position at the turn.
They would max out with 190.
They'll take that.
Yep.
Yeah, 190 compared to where they could be otherwise right now is definitely a covetable position.
On the right of your screen, folks, is the team pattern, Stonehenge. Kegel challenge pattern, 40 feet, 23.75 mils. You see the areas to the right and left. Those are playable areas. What I like to call the opportunities to see some friction.
189 is the first game score for Waukesha North. Merrill finishes with 8 straight strikes for a 237 game number 1. That is so hard to do, given the conditions, given the moment, given the amount of practice and the amount of time to make your adjustments. Merrill to throw 8 straight strikes to cap off game number 1 is incredible. And the fact that Waukesha North is still in this thing, 237 to 189.
It's crazy to say, but that's not a lot. That's not a lot.
It's not.
And this is where when you switch lanes, that comes into play, right? Because if this right lane ends up being the one that's slightly better than the left, then Waukesha perhaps could reverse that trend, right?
Yes.
And they could be the ones shooting 230, and then we'd have a much simpler or closer match when we get down to it.
Exactly. And what I will say, what I actually noticed, we said Maggie is the anchor. Was it Maggie the anchor?
Yeah, so it's
sorry,
Marley Krieger is
Marley
the anchor
Krieger
bowler for Merrill.
From Merrill, yes. I apologize. And so what I noticed is that she's actually throwing the ball that she ball changed to during her singles match. You know, so maybe she gathered a little bit of information and is actually sticking to the ball she ball changed with when she started doing better. So that's actually really cool to see during the team environment at that. And she's the anchor, you know, got the 3 in a row.
And while the pattern may be different than the singles competition earlier today, Marley can speak to more freshly, saying this is how this lane broke down as I was bowling this morning in 10 frames. So although it's not the same, she does have the experience of knowing, okay, the lane is going to break at this point, or all the bowling that she has done this weekend, she may have that experience just being comfortable on the lane to be able to share any information she can with her teammates.
That is true. My bad. I literally thought they were bowling on the same pattern, but he just talked about, he put the pattern on the screen. Well, I'm sorry, chat.
But there are some similarities.
Yeah, okay.
To the pattern. The length is similar, 39 to 40.
Yeah.
A little bit more volume on Stonehenge, but I think the friction areas are in a similar way.
Similar, I agree.
So she's still able to play them up the boards and further right, because she's kind of like right on the oil line, which is fantastic.
Waukesha North down by 48 to begin the second game. 2-game total pin count. They have to make up 48 pins. And now because they were unable to strike in the first frame, both teams would be facing essentially the same situation if they can spare. This is not an easy one on the left-hand side for Merrill. Oh, it goes!
What?
Took the scenic route, but got the job done. Waukesha North capitalizing in frame number 1. Spares apiece. Merrill a 9-1 record in the regular season. District 9, that greater Wausau region. 34% strike percentage, 65% fill on the year for the Merrill Tomahawk co-op program. Their team season average was just a 162. They outperformed that in qualifying, averaging a 169 to earn the number 1 seed.
That's what we love to see.
And Waukesha North consistent at this state tournament. They averaged a 169 as a team for the year. At state, averaged a 169 through the 15 games of qualifying.
We like to see consistency and progression, so I'm not mad at the consistency. Oh!
That's the break that Waukesha North needs. Now again, don't discredit how difficult this is for these bowlers to go across the lane. These are not the usual patterns they're used to competing on. Need it, got it. First advantage of game 2 goes to Waukesha North with 8 to play. Kotke is the third bowler for Merrill. And she's able to get 9 pins.
If we don't strike, we'll take 9s. I'll take 9s any day, even if it's a not so good shot on my part. I'll take a 9.
And in the Baker format, as long as you can convert those spares with a 48-pin lead, that's what Merrill needs right now. Waukesha North got a strike, taking advantage of that open frame while they spared. Now they even add more to it to try and, for their sake, hopefully complete the comeback. Good spare for Kotke and Merrill. 7 frames to go.
To the right of your screen, folks, bottom right of your screen, I've added a kind of a scoreboard so you can be aware of what's happening. So Merrill gets out of the gates with 237 and Waukesha North 189. Again, 2-game total pins.
Loving the upgrades to BowlStreamTV this year. This is fun. We got a little score grab. We got an announcer camera. What are we going to have next here? We have a rules analyst up there in LA to go.
I'm working on a challenge camera.
Oh, right, yeah. Strikes for both squads in the 4th frame. This is where we start to feel the intensity and the drama build even more than what it had been. When you're starting to do the math on how much more you need. Waukesha North, if they can string these strikes together. How about the anchor bowler?
Oh.
Marley Krieger, 9 count. So another opening for Waukesha North.
Let's see if we can connect this for 3 in a row.
Madeline Shakira, I believe, is the anchor bowler stepping up here for Waukesha North, based on the indication we've gotten from the coach's lineup here. And it crosses over, so a 9 count. So still Waukesha North leading here by 20 pins. And they're essentially even at this point. Let's see how the spares play out.
Nice spare.
Marley Krieger,
yeah,
calm, cool, collected, knocks it in.
She walked back like, yeah, I already knew I had that, like in my backswing. I knew I had it before I got on the approach.
Now let's see. Waukesha North converts as well. Here we go. Flip the lineup, 5 frames to go until a champion is crowned. Waukesha North has to overcome 48 pins to win a state championship. Merrill needs to stay that much further in front. Another 9 count in the 6th frame for Merrill. Now, Waukesha North.
Oh!
Strike will help.
Yeah, she flexed. I love it. I love it.
When you know it's your final ball of the year and a chance to win the state championship, why not? Spare is made. Avery Frisch of the Merrill squad.
I love, too, how they're not scared to show emotion.
Yep.
I feel like sometimes, you know, during tournaments or team events, you know, some people might be a little bit timid to show emotion, and they might, you know, especially bowling, too, they might not be as free. But this is what we want to see.
Izzy Schiffler steps in for the 7th frame ball for the Merrill Blue Jays. That's a tough break.
I didn't see the 7-pin there, but this is makeable.
Yep. 3, 6, 7, 10. But Waukesha North now with a strike in the 6th. If they can add one here in the 7th, we've got ourselves a match.
Oh!
It was right there and left the 10-pin.
Those 2 9s, they could have been like 5 in a row.
That's the break that Waukesha North really needed to try and overcome the 48 pins.
Oh.
2 of the 4 on the spare attempt for Schiffler. All right, 3 frames to go. Merrill with an open. They have a 111 in the 7th. Waukesha North needs to convert this 10-pin. Cannot afford an open. Got it.
Nice.
Spares don't win you the match, but they will lose it if you miss it. 3 frames to play. Bella Kotke in the 8th.
Read it. Oh!
Right there.
Yeah.
Much needed.
I will say, I'm very, have you guys seen their socks? I think they have their coaches' faces on their socks.
Oh, they
Which
do.
is pretty
That's
cool.
fantastic.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Waukesha North, 8th frame ball. Oh, and there's 2 pins there.
Yeah, that's a tough 3-9.
Yes, it is. And it's very likely that their chance to win a state championship comes down to making this spare.
They needed to make up a 48-pin deficit.
Yeah.
Merrill's going to let them throw this spare before they take the approach.
Oh, that's got to hook a little.
Perfect.
Well done.
That is a difficult shot given the stakes, and that is a great attempt and a great finish.
That was well done.
Angelina Massey of Waukesha North.
And she went right over to the coach, had a nice combo about, I think, what to do on that one.
And that one stayed outside in the 9th frame for Merrill and Peyton Smith.
226 is still available for Waukesha North.
Oh.
And they're on their way.
I feel like I'm at a ping pong match. After every shot, my head's just going back and forth between the score.
48 pins is what they have to overcome. Huge spare in the 9th for Peyton Smith.
They gotta
coming
read it.
across the lane.
Hey!
Gets them all. Clutch shot after clutch shot on both sides.
Boy, if she had missed that, that would have given Waukesha basically 1 additional shot to work with. Now, if Waukesha strikes out, that's 226. That puts them at 415 total, which would make Merrill's magic number 179.
Okay.
Madeline Shakira, 44% strike percentage on the year for Waukesha North. Marley Krieger, a state singles finalist with a 9 count in the 10th. Shakira, best fill percentage on the team, best strike percentage on the team. This is who you want in this spot.
Oh!
Brooklyn strike to keep the championship hopes alive.
Oh my
That
God.
could be the one.
Wow.
That could be the one.
Wait.
This is a
Uh-oh. Oops.
spare right in the middle of the lane, and Krieger got worried for a second, but it did come back. So max 170 in this game for Merrill. Emil, I'm going to trust you to do the math as we call the action.
Wow.
Wow.
Shakira needs this strike.
Has to have it.
226. Oh boy.
If she doesn't strike, that would be 215, which would be
Oh.
404.
Little
This is a must strike.
and a little gamesmanship here. Both teams kind of pointing to each other, seeing what they need.
Gotta have it.
Merrill was pointing to Waukesha North, saying,
Here we go.
your shot. Here's Shakira,
Here we go.
looking for a big strike.
Oh, my goodness.
It was in the pocket. That was a much better shot than the first ball, but it left the 7 pin.
My gosh. And now important count here. Oh boy, that's 7.
7.
That 7 might be.
Oh boy.
It's now 4:04,
This is happening too fast.
and we could possibly have a tie.
Oh, jeez.
She has to make this to tie. Has to make to tie.
I'm sweating.
Again, has to make it to tie.
She must make this. Pick it up, girl. Oh, my God.
And they fall by 1. 4:04 to 4:03.
Wow.
My gosh.
She had to make it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
Merrill just won the state championship.
And they each were separated by a pin to get here, right, Jesse?
It was 1 pin in qualifying that set Merrill in front of Waukesha North for the #1 seed. And it's 1 pin that proves to be the difference in Merrill winning the state title.
Wow.
That's how even these teams were. 2,531 to 2,530 over 15 games yesterday. And 4:04 to 4:03 today. The
Unbelievable.
Merrill Blue Jays just won the championship.
That spare in the 10th by Marley was very important.
Had to have it.
Yeah. By her body her body language, I wasn't sure if she made it or not, but she did.
That is as tight of a championship match that we've ever seen.
Wow.
We've never had a roll-off in a state championship team match.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought we were about to have it.
Bowling math.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Figure it out. Hashtag figured. You know what I think also it was? It was the socks. Other than the
very
shot
well
making,
could have
I think it was the socks had something to do with it.
The coach's face on the socks of the Merrill team, and they just knocked their socks off, winning a championship.
Oh my gosh.
So Jesse, you're familiar with this, and Gigi will talk about it. In a broadcast setting, sometimes there's a statistician, there's a spotter in certain situations. There's someone doing all this math, right? In the TV truck, what?
Today we got you.
Right, so I'm feverishly doing this, and I had just written down 407 if she had struck on the fill. And I saw 7, I go, oh no.
Yeah, even if
I
the
think
10 pin, which had wobbled,
Correct.
if that had
Yes,
fallen, it would have been a
yes.
totally different
I think
scenario.
this could be a tie,
Exactly.
and then I quickly did it 3 more times just to make sure, and she had to make it.
Wow.
If she strikes there on that shot that left the 7 pin, they win outright, period. They would have won on that shot, and then it gets to a situation where they've got to make a single pin. Unbelievable.
How's that for drama to start this
Oh
team
my
state
God.
championships? And this just 1 of 4.
It was a great shot too. Wow.
So good.
I'm going to go get a camera ready for our Division I match. You guys keep at it.
Yep,
Wow.
Now,
a lot of emotions.
we'll have to see. I'm not sure if the awards presentation takes place first or if we do that after the Division I championship gets going. So we'll see and wait a word from our staff here from the Wisconsin High School Bowling Club, the Bowling Centers Association of Wisconsin. Great hosts at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley for this competition this year. And you just see, Gigi, the emotions and tears for different reasons from both of these teams. For
Yeah.
Merrill, it's jubilation. They can't believe they just won it. And for Waukesha North, they were so close.
And it's crazy because I understand and I've felt their emotion on both sides of it. So, geez. I'm just soaking it all in like, oh gosh.
Well, the difficult thing about when you watch this, you could say, well, if you make that spare in the 10th, you go to the roll-up. There are so many in the Baker format. Everyone could have done something a little bit differently that
Right.
could have helped overcome that deficit that Waukesha North could have won. So while, you can reflect right away and say, oh, just make that spare, force the roll-off. Like, it's not just that simple. There are so
Exactly.
many other situations that could have played differently, including the fact that they were down 48 pins going into the second game.
Yes, because those string of strikes that they had, if they don't have those, that it's the match is pretty much over. So they definitely gave themselves a chance.
Congratulations again to the Merrill Blue Jays, your Division II girls 2024 Team State Champion. Division II runners-up, the Waukesha North Stars of District 1, an outstanding showing here at the state tournament in Ashuwaubenon. They have a lot to be proud of for this entire season, carrying the flag for District 1 here at this year's state championship. None of the familiar faces of teams that we've seen in years past at any of the different divisions and levels, with Oak Creek and McGuanaco and so many great squads that have come from that area of the state. This year, Waukesha North, the lone representative on Championship Sunday, and they performed so well this weekend, coming up 1 pin short of a state championship.
I still can't believe it.
Unreal.
Man. I mean, that is.
Wow.
And the fact that it played out the way that it did. We were just talking, Emil, about how many different opportunities you can look at over the 2 games and say, okay, if you make 1 spare, if you make 2 pins fall down on a split that comes up high on the head pin. Like, there's so many different situations you can look at.
Yes.
And say if it plays just a little bit differently, we're state champions with 1 pin separating.
See if this works again.
Is this the replay?
This is this should be the second shot.
And this could have been the strike that would have won the state championship.
That's a great shot. That's a great shot.
So right there.
Look at the That's exactly how I felt too.
You can't throw it better than that.
That's a great shot.
All right, so it looks like we are going to transition here right away into the Division I Girls Team State Championship. So I think we'll be in store for the introduction of those teams here momentarily, and then the awards presentation will come after the conclusion of the second girls team match.
Correct.
We'll do the Division II and Division I awards presentations together. So I guess that means we get to turn our attention to the next match.
I'm ready. Jeez, like, can I be on their team? Like, can I put bowling? I want to bowl. It's like we want to bowl. Give me a pair of bowling shoes and let me be on the team.
I'm sure a lot of these teams would be happy to have you suiting up for them here today.
Oh.
Not sure eligibility
Maybe we can talk to
restrictions.
Yvonne about that. She's in the
Yeah,
chat.
there'd be some questions, no doubt.
Hey, girl.
So practice has already commenced for both of the squads here in the Division I field, so we'll introduce them after their practice wraps up. But this is, so as close as the last match was between Waukesha North and Merrill, this one may be the match of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rematch of last year's state championship.
Wow.
2 powerhouses in state bowling, not just girls, but really any state bowling program. You've got the Sun Prairie Co-op program, Sun Prairie East, Sun Prairie West, Marshall, Cambridge. They've got some fantastic bowlers on this team, including Maggie Porter, who is fresh off of a championship for the girls' singles state title a little bit earlier today. Then you've got the Sheboygan area co-op program. They're one of the traditional powerhouses. They've finished top 4 at state each of the last 4 tournaments. Sun Prairie has finished top 3 each of the last 5 years, including this year. It's a who's who when it comes to team state championships between these 2 programs. Sun Prairie Co-op on the right-hand side in the red, white, and blue uniforms. The Sheboygan Co-op program on the left-hand side in the blue, black, and white uniforms. And when you've got a match like this, I mean, Gigi, you can look at whether, or on the Pro Tour, and like any of, when you look at, when you've got a Final 5 or a Final 2 and you say, okay, this is exactly how you would draw it up on Championship Sunday.
Right.
This is it for Division I girls.
Yes. I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it.
Sun Prairie's average on the season, a 187, a 166 the season average for the Sheboygan program, but they're very similar in a lot of statistical categories. Strike percentage, spare percentage, fill percentage, they're all roughly in the same boat. 2 programs that, again, traditional powerhouses that perform at their best when they get to the state tournament. That's what you want from your team every single year. That's what these teams have gotten this year. 190 average in qualifying for Sun Prairie, 175 for Sheboygan. That's how far and away Sun Prairie ran away with the seeding.
Wow.
Sheboygan was the 3 seed. They had to bowl last night and defeat the Kenosha Co-op program. I want to talk about a who's who of state bowling. Kenosha also right up there in the mix. They beat them 359 to 335 in semifinal match number 3 last night to earn the berth here on Championship Sunday.
Wow. And that was it. That was later in the day, like late at night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Oh, well later than that. It was closer to 10
See?
by the time that thing was wrapping up last night.
To do that, then to come back here and be prepared to make shots and give your team a chance to win a state championship. I give it to these athletes. I really do.
So lanes 8 and 9 will be the host lanes for this Division I Girls Team State Championship. Sun Prairie and Sheboygan.
I do have a question. Is a specific team going first based off seeding? Do we know that, or is it?
I actually don't know if that's
okay.
a designated
I thought that's how it's
system or
been.
not.
Okay.
That was how it was going for singles too. When we got into some situations where new players didn't necessarily start, they did have the option to choose who would begin the match.
Right.
It's a good question. Let me ask Rob.
But
I wasn't sure if it was the
well,
same with teams.
With the Baker format, obviously you alternate shots, but I don't think there's any, like, they don't halt one team from, if they've got 3 or 4 strikes in a row, they let them keep going. They don't need to wait or anything like that. So I don't know if that impacts how the alternating goes.
I just didn't know if they started the match or
Yeah.
if the other team started. Just curious, because I remember we had a situation over here where
Waukesha North and Merrill were pointing to
everyone
each
stopped,
other,
and I
right?
was like, whose turn is it to go? You know?
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a clarification.
You know,
That'd be a good rule to know.
I feel in that scenario that we did see.
Yeah.
Because like on tour, right?
Right.
You would have figured out if you wanted to go, if you wanted the other player to go, you probably would have just delayed what you were doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like Waukesha North maybe was trying to do. I feel like they wanted to go a little later than they did.
Yes.
I don't think it had anything. It didn't cause anything wrong with the shot making because that shot was amazing and it should have struck.
It was.
But there was a little bit of that, gamesmanship. Like, Waukesha North wanted to see what they were going to do, see what they needed, and if the right pin count obviously didn't come up, then they knew exactly what they would have needed to go ahead and win the match.
Agreed.
I think it's not going to matter too much, simply because they do get practice on both lanes. But again, I think sometimes it's a mental thing, and then sometimes a lane just might be bad.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's very possible.
So one of the other fun things about this match with these two powerhouse programs is, in different ways, they can both claim that they are the defending champions going into this match. Here's why. Last year, Sun Prairie defeated Sheboygan in the state championship. That was played at Dales Weston Lanes in Wausau. But the last time that the state championships were played at the Ashuwaubenon bowling alley back in 2021, Sheboygan won the championship. So they can say, we won the last time out here in Ashuwaubenon 3 years ago.
Right.
A few members of this team are seniors that would have been around the program, if not part of the team, and familiar with what that squad did to win the title in 2021. So now they try to win it again. Can luck strike twice for the Sheboygan Co-op program here in Green Bay?
I'm anxious. I'm anxious to see some bowling, especially knowing that information as well.
Very exciting matchup here between Sun Prairie and Sheboygan.
I tell you, as difficult as it is to get back to a state championship final, I feel like it's even rarer to have the same two teams in a division meet one another again.
Yeah.
And which makes it obviously all the more exciting to get a rematch, a full rematch.
Yeah. And again, credit to the staff here of the Wisconsin High School Bowling Club State Championships, the Bowling Centers Association of Wisconsin. You take a look at the program that they provide us. They give us the state championship information from each of the last 3 years. So we get to reflect a little bit and see what's happened. And you look through team finals, girls Division I, and here's Sun Prairie, and there's Sheboygan. And then in 2022, there's Sun Prairie in third, Sheboygan in fourth. And then you look in 2021, Sheboygan won it. Sun Prairie came in third.
Wow.
They're the only two teams that are consistently on this program every single year. So the fact that they are meeting here yet again, it's like getting Duke and Kentucky in
Essentially.
a national championship in college basketball.
Yeah.
Like this is the creme de la creme when it comes to it.
And if we kept it to bowling, it would be like, thinking back traditionally, it'd be like Nebraska versus Wichita State every year.
Yeah.
And it's very traditional college bowling, since those were the two programs, I think, especially on the women's side for sure, that most people look to still as those legendary historical programs. And obviously in our current state, there are an immense number of programs that have made the name for themselves and backed it up with championships. And just watching both teams perform, each team had a singles competitor participate this morning as well, which also shows what the programs are about. You know, Sun Prairie had singles competitors last year as well. I mean, this is must see TV right here.
Yeah.
Maggie Porter of Cambridge was part of the singles competition earlier today. She did win the 2024 Girls Singles State Championship as part of the Sun Prairie Co-op program. So we'll see if she's able to help propel this team to a state championship.
Nice. And speaking of Nebraska and Wichita, I had someone lean over and say that Maggie actually wants to go to Nebraska, and I was like, And you know, I can actually see that, you know, because at Nebraska, you know, the theme, like just simplicity. They love simplicity there. I was going to say we love simplicity, and she has a simple game, so I could actually see her with a big Cornhusker N on the back of her jersey.
Okay. Well, foreshadowing.
Yeah. About 1 minute left to practice.
How do you, Gigi, in this scenario, kind of take us all the way back to your college bowling days? For practice, is it obviously you're trying to get lined up as a player, but how much are you also looking at what your teammates are doing so you guys can be as collectively as good as you possibly can be?
Right. So what I'm doing is exactly what you said. I'm trying to figure out where I need to be. But if I am lost or I don't know, I'm going to see the players who might be in the similar area as me, where they're sliding, what they're hitting, or what are they looking at, or where they're hitting down lane. So I could kind of like be in that area. And, you know, if you talk about a national championship, you know, we've had the whole season to kind of figure out our shifts off each other. Or I might be 2 on the left of this person, or I might be aboard right of this person. So if someone on the team is actually lined up, I can see where they are and pretty much make my moves off of them. So I'm going to see probably who has the best look in practice before we start and be like, okay, I know where I am off you. Let me get in that part of the lane, and maybe I might need to figure out what ball I need to be in that situation.
Clock hits zeros on practice time, so the team's huddling up. I guess that means I have to officially introduce them to the crowd here, so I guess I'll step away and do that momentarily. We'll see if they even want me to.
Gotcha. Just moments away, folks, from Girls Division I Team Championship. It will be Jesse Nelson to announce.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the Division I Girls Team State Championship Final. Please welcome the number 3 seed, Sheboygan. And the number 1 seed, Sun Prairie. Best of luck to both teams in this championship match.
This is going to be fun.
Isn't it?
Yes.
2 state powerhouses, Sun Prairie and Sheboygan. Traditionally finishing in the top 5, if not the top 2, each of the last 5 years. Going toe-to-toe for a state title on BowlStreamTV. This is the calm before it gets crazy. When you break the huddle, everybody cheering you on, and then, okay, time to settle in and get started. 2 games, total pin count is the format.
All right.
Sun Prairie starts with a 7 count again in the first frame. Any count on the first ball, the spares count the same. So it's a good chance to have a bowler in that position that can help you figure out the oil pattern, decipher that lane quickly. Kenna O'Connor gets the first shot for Sheboygan. Comes up a little light on the right-hand side. Actually, the head pin is still out there, so missed wide right. Leaves 3. So 7 counts on each of the first balls. Here in game 1 of the championship match.
Nice.
Quick update on what we're bowling on again. Stonehenge, 40 feet, 23.75 mils. And this Division I match is now on the fresh. And they've moved to 8 and 9. We were just on 6 and 7.
O'Connor looking to match the spare that Sun Prairie was able to get.
Uh-oh.
Missed it wide to the left.
All right.
Frustrating moment, got to shake it off. It's still early, plenty of time to overcome it.
Right, and I will say, you know, the number 1 bowler, the leadoff bowler, is a very important piece of the Baker dynamic. One, you know, you want to come out, at least try your best to come out hot, give your team energy. And also, too, you're giving your team a chance to gain some information, especially as the games go on.
The junior Shauna Vang is the second bowler for Sun Prairie.
Read it.
Pretty good shot,
Good
gets
nine.
9. Second shot for Sheboygan over on lane 9 is also a 9 count. You want proof that these teams are very similar? There you go. Layla Schursel, a freshman in the second position for Sheboygan. And again, these spares coming across the lane are very difficult on this oil pattern. Vang able to connect. 2 for 2 on spares for Sun Prairie here in game 1. Schursel missed it wide to the right, and a pair of opens to start the match for Sheboygan. They're going to have to shake these off in a hurry. Sun Prairie doesn't make many mistakes.
No, they don't, and it's obviously not the best start, but the important thing is, you know, I go back to the singles. We watch young Dayton struggle a little bit early, but never lost confidence, kind of stayed focused and poised on what he was looking to do. And I think sometimes that's a little bit easier to do in a team environment because you do have teammates to rely on.
Right. I got a hook. I tried.
6 count in frame number 3 for the Sun Prairie Co-op program. You heard them in their cheer say SPMC, Sun Prairie Marshall Cambridge.
Nice.
What that stands for. We will refer to them as Sun Prairie, although they do have bowlers from all of those communities consisting the makeup of this team. Similar to Sheboygan. Oostburg, as we heard from the singles competitor Addison Cole, who's a Oostburg Flying Dutchman, but part of the Sheboygan Co-op program. We'll refer to them as Sheboygan for the sake of identifying the teams here in this championship match.
What I'm noticing with the first couple of shots is that, at least on the pattern that they're bowling on, if you get the ball a little bit too right too soon, it's, you know, it might not be enough for it to recover down lane. And I feel like that's what we've seen. Yes! I feel like that's what we've seen the first couple shots from, is it Sun
Prairie.
Sun Prairie,
Yep.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I said it correctly.
And that was Libby Porter, the senior, who connected on that. Maggie Porter, the
Nice
sophomore,
spare.
is the state champion and the anchor bowler here for the Sun Prairie program. First spare of the game for Sheboygan comes in frame number 3.
Ooh, two-hander. Oh, wow.
Taylor Baker, the senior,
That
who
was
has
nice.
had an incredible career, and she is an accomplished bowler and a veteran of this state tournament, comes up with a great shot that leaves a 10-pin.
That was a great shot.
Gee, what are you looking for in both of these teams? You know, we're about 4 frames through, and obviously for Sheboygan, as they get a good break, which hopefully can relax them and ease them into this match.
Right.
But at this point, kind of what are you looking forward to, or how do you see each team progressing, meaning making the necessary adjustments that they may need to make?
Right. What I see as far as right now is just, or what I'm thinking is, what are they going to do to try to control the pocket? You know, we've kind of see the ball a little bit different directions, but, you know, maybe it's a little bit of nerves, or, you know, trying to figure out what they need to do to just control the pocket, hit the 1-3. If they, you know, threw a shot, it was like, what do they need to do from there? Or maybe they don't need to do anything. You know, just stay there and really just focus on hitting their target. Maybe they're in the right part of the lane. It could just be nerves. So I'm just looking for how they're going to control the pocket.
Single state champion Maggie Porter picking up where she left off, knocking all of them down.
Maggie said, I had control of the pocket all day. I'm ready. Let's see if Sheboygan, did I say that correctly?
You did.
Because,
Yes.
you know, they had to teach me how to say What's the name of this bowling center?
Ashuwaubenon.
See that, Ashuwaubenon. I'm learning.
There will be a quiz.
Just, I've learned there's a lot of names, Wisconsin teams and places that I just don't know how to pronounce, and I'm learning.
All things considered, you've gotten pretty lucky with some of the teams that we're going to see here today. There's a few others that we've come through the ranks over the years that are definitely a little bit more tongue twisters than we're facing today.
I've heard them, and I'm like, I need some practice.
Jesse has put me up on some game over the last 4 years, too, on how to pronounce certain schools and cities.
Yeah.
One of my favorite videos we see is when people from Wisconsin travel to other places around the country and then show people and the names of the cities and try to have them pronounce them correctly.
Yeah.
It's always one of the fun features that you can see.
I would definitely fail.
Look at the bounce back here by Sheboygan. 4, 5, 6. They have strikes. So that's your fourth bowler, your fifth bowler, and then flipping it around to your first position bowler. That's exactly how you draw up the Baker lineup. You want 4, 5, 6 to be able to chance to string a bunch of strikes together, and then likewise at the end of the match.
Right.
And that is exactly how the benefits to me of team bowling. Right. Again, they start slow. But the rest of the team is there to help guide, calm people down. Whatever their normal routines are and people are struggling or, a little bit nervous, whatever the situations are, these are things that you go through, and you get through those things throughout the year to be prepared for these moments.
Right.
Ashuwaubenon, a junior.
Gotta hold. Oh. That's a tough break.
It's going to be tricky.
Certainly makeable.
That is true.
6, 7.
Sheboygan capitalize and pushed a little far to the right again. So that stops the string of strikes. But again, a makeable spare for Scherzel coming across the lane.
I'm sure Sun Prarie is like, oh, thank you. They stopped striking for a second. I know if that was my team, I would be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to say that you're just focused on what you're doing, but especially when it's total pin count, you can't help but look at what your opponent is doing at different stages of the match.
Every shot matters. Every pin matters for sure.
And unfortunately for Ashuwaubenon, she only got one of the two I think she was trying to go for on the right-hand side of the lane. So 119 with an open in the 7th for Sun Prarie. Sheboygan also opens the 7th frame, so we'll have an exact indication of where this match stands, and it's a 1-pin difference with 3 frames to go in game number 1. We're used to that around here.
That is, that's bowling. That's team bowling, and the benefit of a 3-backer for Sheboygan. And then I don't think Sun Prarie had yet to double.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And so now their first open results in now a 1-pin deficit, which if you looked at, again, the first 3 frames, you would think Sun Prarie was going to run away with it.
Libby Porter pushes it right, really walked the edge of the gutter there. She was able to walk it back in, but missed the head pin. Now Sheboygan, frame number 8.
Oh, she was
Brooklyn
waiting for
9
it.
count. Yep.
She was waiting for it. I was too.
It was Abby Schleicher, the sophomore, in the 8th frame for Sheboygan. Porter hoping to convert this spare. Looks down at the approach as she completes the shot. Not sure if something disrupted her footwork there, but she does get it.
The ball was definitely straighter through the front. More in play.
Schleicher hoping to match.
Nice.
She succeeds in doing so.
Nice.
2 frames to go in game number 1. Still separated by just 1 pin.
We just had a 1-pin match between our girls Division II opponents.
Taylor Baker just hammered home a strike in the 9th frame.
And I remember her from last year. I was very impressed with her game at the time. And again, we were talking about two-handed bowling. And she's improved, even just from the previous year's event that I last saw her at.
And I don't think you should discredit the senior leadership that she provides to this team.
Right.
And you've got a sophomore who just won the state championship, but your seniors are so valuable in moments like this. When you can back it up with an outstanding performance, it's the perfect recipe for potentially winning a state championship. although Sheboygan remains in front by 1 with a strike in the 9th.
And the 2 anchor players, again, participated in the singles competition. One was the state champion this morning, and that's Maggie on the left.
I'd like for Gigi to only do sound effects of how she's feeling for the remainder of this match.
Yes!
Maggie Porter with a strike to start the 10th frame. And, I mean, you can't draw this up any better. Addison Cole in the anchor position for the Sheboygan program. Maggie Porter in the anchor position for the Sun Prairie program. 2 bowlers who were on full display earlier today in the singles competition.
Oh.
Addison Cole came up high on the head pin and leaves a split in the 10th. And in a close match, that is going to hurt. She's got a chance to make it.
Definitely makeable.
The unfortunate situation that this could end up being a 30-pin swing.
Yeah.
Right. If Maggie doubles here, they'll be in the 190s. If Addison misses the spare, they'll be in the 150s.
And that's where you think of this like a sport like
Or
football.
160s, excuse me.
Like Sheboygan.
Oh my God! It crossed over. Jeez.
And that's Sun Prairie taking advantage of the situation. It's like when in football, when you recover a fumble, you got to do something with it.
Yeah.
And that's what Sun Prairie was just able to do after the open frame in the 10th for Sheboygan. They've now doubled up plus the strike in the 9th, so it's 3 in a row for Porter going for a 4th to close out the match. And what was a 1-pin difference has a chance to suddenly turn into 40.
Yeah, I mean, this is like at worst it's going to be 33 pins. At worst. And again, a double, in this case a triple, maybe a 4-bagger, and it is.
She celebrates with the golf swing. I like that.
A split in the 10th frame. That was like, you know, a couple of threes and then a turnover, a couple threes again in basketball. And all of a sudden, you thought it was a 1-pin deficit. All of a sudden, you know, someone's down 15. That's exactly what just happened.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
go
no,
ahead.
I was going to say the basketball analogies. Okay, I know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought we were
When
teaching
say-
GG
No,
baseball
I know.
today, so.
When we talked about, what do we say, open hitter? I can't remember what it was, but okay.
We had doubleheader. We had the
Doubleheader.
Baltimore Orioles.
Yes, I'm learning.
This would be like walking the leadoff batter, which I don't know. That might be the advanced level. I'm not so sure.
I definitely don't know what that is.
All in all, no matter what analogy you want
Yes.
to do, it's a 33-pin difference in favor of Sun Prairie as they head into game number 2. As we saw in the last game, which was separated by 48 pins, it's very easy to make up this deficit. But you're going to need Sun Prairie to make a mistake if you're Sheboygan, and you're going to have to string strikes together. This is where
Have to.
spares is not an option. You need to string strikes together in order to have a chance to win a championship, overcoming this 33-pin deficit.
I think, simply put, for Sheboygan, if they can try to alleviate the tough start that they had in game 1 and to get off to a good start, they don't even have to throw a double. It'd be great if they do, but just a couple of made spares to get themselves off to a good start. So, you know, their leadoff and number 2 bowlers will be important in that regard. And then for Sun Prairie, you know, their lineup obviously is so strong. You're just trying to get it to Maggie in a proper situation, but it's not even. It's actually somewhat easier than that because every spot they've got a player who can produce. Sheboygan in every spot, they've got a player who also can produce, and I think they just got to do what got them to this point.
Right. Fill the frames as best as you can for sure. And here we go. Read it.
Kenna O'Connor leads off game 2 with all 10 pins.
Nice. Great start.
Exactly what Sheboygan needed out of the gates.
That's what he said. Yeah.
You know, every now and then I say things that actually make sense.
Okay.
And first ball struggle for Sun Prairie and Ava Rodefeld.
Now, here's the deal, Gigi. You tell me how you would feel in this situation. If I am Sheboygan and Layla's about to step up, I see what just happened on Sun Prairie. I'm like itching to get up there and throw and toss a strike, right?
Yes.
But the important thing is to not overstep. You don't
Yes.
want to get too anxious because then you start doing things that get you out of character.
Right. If I see that, I might be like, let me just take this time for an extra breath or like give myself an extra second to really compose myself and then focus on exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Because when I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, let's get a double. But you know, let's take an extra second and just stick to the basics, fundamentals. Focus on maybe your target or a key that you have, whether it's your push shot, whatever it is, so that you can make the best shot that you can.
Shauna Vang with a split.
Uh-oh.
And this is a likely potential for back-to-back opens for Sun Prairie in game 2.
Big spare here.
Oh!
Layla Schursel gets them
Nice.
both. And Sheboygan right back in it. That didn't take long.
Bowling, man, it's one of those things. I like to tell people who aren't really familiar with the sport, there's just so many invisible variables that you just don't see them, you know? And so, all right, you know, someone might have 4 in a row, and then the game just goes not so much 4 in a row anymore, and they could be like, oh, what happened? I'm like, there's just a lot of things that you don't see, you know?
Right.
Temperature, oil, the bowling center, the lane, a lot of different things.
There is championship bowling not only going on here in Wisconsin, but also in Delaware. As I look up in the PBA Delaware Classic live show is on FS1 currently. Shout out to all the players who advanced to the step ladder finals there. So we got the great state of Wisconsin and Delaware bowling today.
That's good. Ours is better.
I 100% agree. Just like that right there.
And how about it?
He did not.
Look at how fired up this Sheboygan squad is here in game 3. They've got 3
Wow.
marks, 2 of which are strikes. Look at this incredible run. And now Libby Porter trying to stop the momentum. Oh, no. Another likely open frame for Sun Prairie. This thing is getting away from them in a hurry.
It's so interesting, again, when you change lanes, and we've been talking about this. This has kind of become a theme.
Right.
To where the leading team has made the change to the other lane and has struggled out of the gates. The team trailing after one game goes to the other lane, where, of course, the other squad has performed very well and immediately starts to see success.
It does kind of feel like you're playing with less pressure, and the pressure is on the shoulders of the team that's in front to make sure you're not going to lose your lead, as opposed to kind of playing with house money in a way when you know you're down by so much.
Exactly.
Porter went for it and only got 1. 3 open frames for a 25 total after 3 for Sun Prairie.
So after seeing this, being the 4th bowler or even the coach, I'll be like, okay, the first 3 players. Oh, wow.
Look at that late tap on the 8.
Wow. The first 3 players just went high, high, high. So I think a move here is definitely necessary. And I think this is the 2-hander as well, right?
Correct.
Yes, definitely a move, 1, 2, whatever her move is, but have to do something different.
I'm expecting a strike here.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Wow.
Another 9-pin. Gosh.
Those have just been brutal today.
But she's the kind of player that's a stabilizer, right? That's why she's in the 4 position, because she's so good.
Right.
And her strike percentage, you know, I don't have numbers. Do we have numbers on?
Yeah, I have a few here.
Okay.
So Taylor Baker's strike percentage on the season, 49%.
Okay. I mean,
87% fill.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Right?
That's really good.
And so you're anticipating what she's going to do, and she threw exactly what she needed, and the pins were just not kind. But
Right.
by throwing a good shot there, I think it does calm the team down as a whole.
I agree.
It's like just seeing someone hit the pocket can do wonders.
And as we saw at the end of game 1, Sun Prairie has as good a 4-5 tandem at the back end of a match that you could ask for. And Taylor Baker, the senior, in the 4th position, and the state champion, Maggie Porter, in the anchor position.
Good shot by, oh, okay, Addison Cole.
Speaking of good anchor bowlers, the freshman Addison Cole.
Wow.
With a huge strike, that's 3 in a row for Sheboygan. They've struck in 4 of the first 5 frames of game 2.
I'm not sure if her family's here, but I can imagine her brother Dawson or dad, mom might be somewhere in this building, or if they're not, they're watching, certainly, I imagine.
Wow.
Big shot here for Maggie.
Need it.
Looks good. Nice.
And got
Nice.
it.
Yeah, without knowing everyone else, of course, in Division I, but you would take that 4-5 for Sun Prairie and put them up against anybody, right? And so basically they should have a double. 9-pin makes it a little bit different, but at the very least, again, from the Sun Prairie standpoint, all right, we've got a little bit of confidence. Again, we know what we're capable of. Let's go out and do it.
Oh.
And it's bowling, so you never know when it's going to come back to you. Obviously, this match is not over.
Right.
And as evidenced here, Ken O'Connor leaves a split, so Sheboygan likely to open this 6th frame. So can Sun Prairie now complete what they need as a comeback? Ava Rodefeld leaves. Is that the exact same split?
Exact same split, 4, 6, 7.
I was going to say it was symmetrical, but no, it's identical.
That's tough.
Well, we're going to be able to evenly assess where we're at here after 6 frames with 4 to go. O'Connor gets 1. Can Rodefeld get 2? Every pin might matter, as we saw in the last match.
Right.
All right, where are we at? Emil, it's your time to shine with the calculator.
All right, so let me
123 for Sheboygan, 73 for Sun Prairie. That's a 50-pin difference. So it's actually a 17-pin lead right now for Sheboygan with 4 frames to go. And a strike. So if they strike out, they're going to win.
And the other thing, too, for Sun Prairie, mentally, the mindset is this is not a best-of situation. They still, well, they don't have the lead technically now, but, you know, they don't have to win the game, if that makes sense, to win the match.
Right.
It's all about the total pin count. And you can see on the screen here, they do indicate above the score of the current game what it was last game. Also, Emil's got the great graphic in the corner for you to follow along with us.
And that's why I think here, trying to strike, like, we're not trying to strike. We're just trying to control the pocket, whatever we leave. Hopefully we don't leave anything and we do strike, but, you know, just trying to control the pocket, pick it up, and then move on to the next player. I feel like if you're trying to strike, you start to put additional pressure on yourself, and it's not necessarily, just like E said, you don't have to win the game, but just enough to win the match.
And if I'm Sheboygan, my mentality right now is I don't want this to come down to Addison Cole in the 10th frame.
100%.
You can win this in the 8th and 9th if you can
100%.
strike right here.
They have already put themselves in the right position to take the lead. Now they just got to go out and finish it.
That 7th frame strike is so pivotal for Sheboygan to be in the driver's seat here in the home stretch. A spare for Sun Prairie, but again, they trail. When we did the math here, they trail by 17 and now make it 27. If you want to do it that way with the spare compared to the strike. 3 frames to go between 2 state powerhouses.
Yes. The song that just came into my mind was Anything Can Happen, Anything Can Happen. I don't know who sings it, but I like that song. All right, what's going to happen?
Abby Schleicher.
Oh, okay.
That's not what she was hoping for.
Yeah, she tripped a nice 2-pin in her first shot back in frame 3. Let's say, so she doesn't make this. Let's say she gets the count. That's 142. It'd be 151 in the 8th. And with, again, Libby.
If Libby Porter gets a strike here, this thing's going to get real close.
Libby, Taylor, and Maggie all due up here for Sun Prairie. They've got a chance.
That looks close.
Oh, it just came back a little too much at the end.
From this perspective, it just looks so, it looks good, it looks close, and then, wow. I wonder if she made a move or if she stayed or if she did anything different from her previous shot in that lane.
And the other thing, of course, she had a teammate, their leadoff bowler, lead the same thing.
Yes.
Ava Rodefeld, yeah. Okay, so the open frame, Sheboygan gets 3, 151 in the 8th. Libby Porter gets her 2.
Oh!
She almost had a chance to give it a run.
That thing almost bounced.
All right, 151 to 99.
Max score for Sun Prairie is now 159.
So it's a 52-pin lead for Sheboygan. In this game, they trailed by 33. So they lead the match by 19 with 2 frames to go.
Wow.
And that very well might seal the deal.
Wow.
It could be. Here's the deal for my math. Of course, if Taylor Baker strikes, they need them all, Sun Prairie, certainly. That would force or make Sheboygan's max or magic number, 193.
Taylor Baker needs it and gets 8. And so if Sheboygan keeps it on the lane, Addison Cole can help the Sheboygan Co-op program win a state title.
Wow. This is why we bowl on both lanes. This is why.
Yeah, pretty incredible what's transpired here.
Jeez.
Baker coming across the lane.
Nice.
Gets 2. And now the freshman Addison Cole steps to the approach for Sheboygan. Competed in the state singles championship earlier today.
A mark, and I think that's going to do it. If she doesn't mark, there's still a very minute possibility for Sun Prairie.
Addison Cole looks good, coming right in. Leaves a 10-pin. Okay, not the easiest spare in a pressure situation, but very makeable for a good bowler. Maggie Porter, the state singles champion. Gets all 10. She's going to make Addison Cole earn it.
Addison has to make this 10 pin.
Come on, girl.
If she does not, Porter can step up and throw one more and I believe 8 on the film and win.
Wow, this is close.
Sheboygan won the last state championship played at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley. This might just be their magic place.
That's pretty impressive too, because actually during practice I saw Addison, she was going for a 10-pin and she missed. You know, so that could also too like be in the back of your mind, but for her to go up on a big shot and pick that up is really impressive.
Let me do some math here.
Let's see if Maggie Porter can get all 10.
Oh.
She gets 9, and that's going to do it.
So that'll officially do it now. Boy, unbelievable.
The team comes up just short in what would have been an incredible run for Maggie Porter if she would have won the singles championship and then also helped her team win the state championship. What a program this Sun Prairie team is. But Sheboygan gets to celebrate a championship in Ashuwaubenon again. They did in 2021. And now again in 2024, Sheboygan wins the Division I Girls State Championship. Two programs that are so good gave us a great championship match. Sheboygan overcoming the 33-pin deficit after Game 1 to come back, throw a 191 in Game 2, capitalize on some mistakes for Sun Prairie, throwing a 138 in Game 2, and Sheboygan, as the 3 seed in the stepladder finals, wins the state championship.
Wow, March Madness started early.
Yeah,
For
you got
NCAA
that right.
basketball, it started early.
You got that right. I got to tell you, and I got to give a shout out again to the Brunics. I'm not sure, you know, how many years they have left, but if that was going to be the one, they have certainly left their mark and their imprint on high school bowling here in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, that program and those coaches and those 2 individuals in particular are just great people. We've gotten to know them well coming to this event for me over the last 10 years. And the first one that I was part of was in Sun Prairie, coincidentally. So to be able to get to know them in their home center back in 2015 and now to see all the way here in 2024, the success that they've had as a program year after year is second to none.
Wow.
A lot of emotions, as you would certainly understand, and for good measure, right? The joys of winning, the tough losses.
And even what hits you in this moment, and Gigi, I'm sure you can share this too, is just knowing that this team will never compete together again. It's not necessarily that you just lost. It's that, you know, you would love to celebrate that moment with everybody, but when you come up just short, it's like we'll never get a chance to play for a state championship as this group once more.
That's one of the hardest parts, for sure. I completely agree, and I understand, you know. So it's just like, okay, see what they can do. They could come back, you know, different group of girls, but still, like, carry on, you know, the legacy and the other players from past years coming here, winning championships, and, yeah.
you know, there are no guarantees.
Right.
Right? I mean, you know, the Brunics have been so good, right? That program's been so good. So it's expected that they typically perform well or at least advance to the finals and give themselves an opportunity to win. But there's never a guarantee it's going to happen. Never a guarantee it's going to happen. And so, again, that little bit where you only, you know, it's like Eminem said, right? You only get one shot.
Right.
Do not miss your chance. And it really is like that in sports. I believe we're going to have our awards presentations.
Right.
All right, Jesse's going to take care of that.
I'm gonna go get a snack.
All right, everybody ready for the awards for girls Division II and Division I state championships. I'll turn it over to somebody who's got a lot better voice than mine because mine's always going. Mr. Jesse Nelson.
Thanks very much, Roger. Somebody get that man a cup of tea. All right, congratulations to our Division II and Division I girls team championship finalists. Let's give a round of applause for all of our finalists here this morning. Outstanding bowl all weekend long, all season long. When I call your team name, please come up to the approach. We'll have some photographs taking place over on the left-hand side as we view it as well. Let's start with Division II. Congratulations to this year's 2024 Girls Division II Team State runners-up, Waukesha North. Once again, let's hear it for Waukesha North. And congratulations to your 2024 Girls Division II Team State Champion, Merrill. One more time, let's hear it for the state champs. Next, we introduce your 2024 Girls Division I Team State runner-up, Sun Prairie East, Sun Prairie West, Marshall, Cambridge. Congratulations once again to the Sun Prairie Co-op program. All right, now let's get loud for your 2024 Girls Division I Team State Champion, Sheboygan! Congratulations again to the state champions from the Sheboygan area. All right, thank you everyone for coming out all weekend long to the 2024 Wisconsin High School Bowling Club State Championships at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley. How about a round of applause for the staff here at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley for all they've done for us all weekend. And for those of you sticking around, we will get started in a little while with the Boys Co-ed Team State Championships, beginning with Division II. That's coming up in about 30 minutes.
All right, folks. Boys Division II is coming up next as an FYI. Again, don't forget about that. Boys Division II is coming up next. FYI, Jesse Nelson back on with you real quick. And, boy, two really exciting matches in our girls Division II and Division I. Division II comes down to making a spare in the 10th, which ultimately was the difference of one pin. And then, of course, the complete turnaround by one team moving lanes, and they get a victory in Sheboygan. Man, how do you break it all down again when we think about what just happened?
When we cover these state championships, Emil, we always look for storylines, and there was no shortage of storylines in each of these first two championship matches. The fact that Merrill and Waukesha North were separated by one pin after 15 games of qualifying, and it ends up being decided by one pin in the state championship match, incredible. And then Sun Prairie and Sheboygan, two juggernauts of high school bowling in the state of Wisconsin, and the back and forth battle. We should have known it wouldn't be easy for one team or the other to try and win that match. Congratulations to Sheboygan, repeating as champions as they were here at Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley back in 2021. So, an incredible performance overall.
Until 12:30, people are waiting for it. So I'll get over here about 12:15 for practice. We'll be ready to go 12:30.
We got to give you a headset next time, Roger, so you can just tell us what's going. You can be our rule. You can be our Mike Pereira of the broadcast here.
Like I said, I said, I'm the Harry Golden. There's nobody around here.
I
Golden was this.
you know.
Was the tournament director of the
PBA.
for about 30 years.
Okay.
Gold chain and a perm.
That's
Following
great.
him was Kurt Von Kruger.
That's great.
Now Campos does it.
That is great.
Roger Dalkin, there's nobody like him. This is incredible. So, yeah, outstanding bowling from the girls' team competition here in the early goings. Division II decided by 1 pin. Division I, the back and forth, the juggernauts, absolutely incredible. And I can't wait if this sets the stage for what will be the 2 rowdiest of our competitions today. I can't wait to see what we have in store coming up next.
If you're telling me there's another level to what we just experienced, then I'm all in. Count me in completely here in this one. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll have an opportunity to hydrate real quick. And, again, our practice will begin for our boys' matches in about 15 minutes. So stay tuned. We will not shut the stream down. We want to keep it here, so make sure you don't get lost, if you will, and going to look for another link. Keep this tab open. Watch a little PBA bowling. Get yourself some coffee, maybe a little lunch, and come on back and join us. Boys D2 and D1 matches next here on BowlStreamTV.
I'm good. Trust me. No. You got about 6.5 hours to old fashioned.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you too. Thanks.
dude?
How we doing?
Doing good, doing my thing. You guys doing your thing. It's the media people, you know.
What's the
There's no
He win me a
reason.
fantasy league or what?
He did win me a fantasy league. No, there's no reason. I was like, just out for these and pick up my outfits. I was like, you know what? Puka Nacua, like, he's such a stud.
Everybody likes Puka Nacua.
He's just such a stud, right? And it's just like, screw it. It's different. Like, no one else can be wearing it.
I love it.
So, yeah.
At some point you were standing like right here, and I'm looking around like doing that, like Puka Nacua. What?
And it's so random because like he's a rookie, and like no one buys rookie jerseys.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
yeah, I got you.
Love it.
Yeah, no specific. Just love it.
Good.
In terms of what, for like lanes or.
Yeah, Division 2.
Yeah.
I think they want to get started. Well, I think
If people are wondering why we're waiting, the next show is ready to start at 12:30. We do not want to start too early because people are waiting in the home appointment at 12:30. So we'll bring them down for practice at 12:15. Thank you at 12:30.
I'll hold on the ship.
son, Christopher Rowland, says to say hi to Jesse Nelson for me.
Okay.
Tell him I love the show and I agree with Josh.
That is amazing. We'll get him a T-shirt.
Okay. Should I give you a card?
We need to make the T-shirts first, which always takes us a long time. So, but tell him if he wants to find me on Twitter. So once we get the shirts created, have him DM me, and we can get in touch about it. It's amazing.
Okay, I'll click on over there because nothing's going on.
Well, thanks so much. That's hilarious.
I'm sure you guys mentioned that was a rematch from last year.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was fun. Summer was the defending champs, and you guys won it here the last time we were here. So.
Yeah, somebody else just told me that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm here so
All these state championships are coming together.
10 years ago was my first one as a coach right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That was with my yours.
Yeah, that's,
Nice.
congrats.
Leave it on.
For this one and for the next, it probably makes more sense to introduce them before practice. I think
Okay,
that works.
yeah, I forgot the
Yeah, we were
second
just gonna
time.
go. I didn't realize what was going on in the last one, so but I just wanted to mention that to you.
Not a problem, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
I want to thank you guys for doing
Our
this.
pleasure.
Really
Thank you so much.
means a lot that you do it.
Wouldn't miss it.
You know.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, that's. You got some weird names. Did anybody help you with some of them?
Let's see. How many did I miss it when I recorded the announcement?
You actually missed our whole team.
What?
During the team announcements, we didn't get announced.
We'll do team introductions.
And I don't know.
Bobbing the coach.
I don't know, but maybe it was an omen for us.
Cooper Rickard, Jack Steger,
Stager.
Jesse
Stager.
Nelson.
Yep.
Brand Praslowitz,
Yep.
Alec
Nap Cabbage.
Cabin,
Yep.
Brady Rickard,
Yep.
and Riley
Gettner.
Gettner. I'm gonna write that down.
All right. Thought I'd help you with a couple of those.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for doing this. This means a lot.
Lapasic. Yeah, close enough. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Nelson, are you ready?
I work as an
He's
announcer,
making
so the
notes.
hardest part is the names.
I only had a million of them. I'm like, okay, sometimes just take your best guess.
Ready?
We're good.
All right, the Golden Tongues of Jesse Nelson, ESPN, Wisconsin.
Thanks, Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley and the 2024 Wisconsin High School Bowling Club Boys Co-ed Team State Championships. We'll get the action started with the Division II State Championship matches. The number 4 seed, the Baraboo Thunderbirds. And the number 1 seed, the Antogo Red Robins. Games will be turned on for 10 minutes of practice. Good luck and good bowling to all the competitors this afternoon.
know. I'm like actually like pulling in all this clothing.
Go get him, gentlemen. 5-minute mark. I'll put it on.
All right, I got a couple of pronunciation teams. Very interesting. So we already know he was in the singles competition earlier.
Hey, I always start like that in practice.
Yep.
I mean, the ones that I pulled the right now.
This is for you, though. Stager. What's to do with Stager, Steger, Stager. Alex Apple Cabbage. Apple Cabbage. Riley Getner. Getner. And I said, how did I do when I did these for the production? And he said, well, I just got skipped somehow, so we never got anything. Oh. Whoopsie. We missed one. Which technically that's the first thing we ever missed, at least that I ever done. So that's good. And then one for here. His name is Trayton Lapassi. Yep. 2 more to go.
All right.
Yeah, there's been some that I don't know if they won both in the same year, but there have been some that really good.
Here we're in Wisconsin. He's got short sleeve shirts and you got a coat on.
It's chilly over here today. I like it, but
Even Matt was complaining how cold it was. I said, well, turn on the goddamn heat again. That's the only trouble in Wisconsin. Seasons. You don't know where the air conditioners for heat. Yeah. So he just turned it off. I said, building like this is a big deal going on.
It's really cool, but once you like
Championship Sunday continues here at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley, the Wisconsin High School Bowling Club State Championship High School Tournament. Of course, brought to you in part by the Bowling Centers Association of Wisconsin, the BCAW. Big thanks to Storm, Bob's Business, the Wisconsin High School Bowling Club, Pepsi, Cubic AMF, and everyone involved who helps bring this event to life. Emil Williams Jr., we got ESPN Madison's Jesse Nelson, Storm Bowling's, and of course the CEO of the Jasmine Mason Foundation. Jasmine Mason herself, Gigi, has been with us throughout and actually setting records along the way because, at least in my experience, and it's just no one has done it yet except Gigi. It looks like she's going to stay the entire time.
Yeah!
This would be a new record. It could only be broken by someone who decides to join us for a pregame show next year. So
That's right.
This is fun.
I'm glad. I'm really glad that you are here, Gigi. I'm glad that you are certainly enjoying it. And then Jesse, we've got boys division.
There's
2.
just me. I'm here every year. I get it.
No.
Understand.
You actually are the voice of this event.
Yes.
You are indeed the voice. And speaking of that, I know you know a thing or two about these two teams. We've actually seen in Antogo and in our finals last year. We saw Jack Stager in the singles last year also, and he's back again along with some other talented players.
Yeah, if you want to talk about, we just had the girls' team finals a few minutes ago. We said it was Duke and Kentucky, some of the Blue Bloods. Antogo's right there with that type of team now when we look at Wisconsin high school bowling. Traditional powerhouse year after year competing for a state championship. Here they are again, the Red Robins in the #1 position, just like they were a year ago. Runners up to Marinette in the Division II championship match last year. 4 of the 6 bowlers on this year's team returned from that squad last year. They're seniors. Teams finished top 5 each of the last 4 years at state. So just like Sheboygan, just like Sun Prairie on the girls' side, Antogo has become the gold standard for the Division II boys co-ed team division. But there's a team that's coming for them, and that's the Baraboo Thunderbirds in the blue and gold, as you see it here on BowlStreamTV, warming up on the left side of the screen. Baraboo with a record of 18-2. Overall this season. They were the champions of that District 9A, which is the greater Portage, Wisconsin, Dells area, where we've seen some really good talented teams and individuals come through this year. Baraboo is right there at the front of the pack. They average a 190 on the year. They averaged a 194 in qualifying, and they had to run the step ladder last night because they were the #4 seed. So what did they do? They beat Sheboygan Lutheran Oostburg 363-348. Tight match in semifinal #1. Semifinal #2, Brown Deer. I was here watching that one last night. Brown Deer was a loud squad. Their fans really brought the energy last night. Baraboo took care of that. 423-371 in semifinal match #2. Then it got real good. Marinette, who played Antogo in the championship last year in Wausau, was the #2 seed, and everyone's seeing this thinking, Antogo 1, Marinette 2, let's do it again, rematch just like last year. Not so fast. They were tied at 392 after 2 games in the semifinal. So it goes to a roll-off. Baraboo wins it 57-28 in the roll-off to advance, running the ladder all the way here to the championship match on Championship Sunday.
Wow.
Second year in a row we've had a roll-off in the stepladder finals on Saturday night. And now here come the Thunderbirds, feeling the momentum of that run from last evening, trying to take down a team that is a traditional power and a team that is always competing for state championships in Antogo. This is going to be a fun championship match.
Already noticing a little bit of, at least from Baraboo, a little bit of urethane going down the lane, which, based on what we've seen so far, and understanding that these 2 lanes, whether it's 6 or 7 or certainly 8 and 9, have been playing differently for the respective teams. We just saw it in the girls' divisions in both matches. That will be a keen thing to kind of keep an eye on. And then same thing in the other matches that we saw in our girls' division. The team that left or switched lanes with the momentum in the lead had to hang on, or in Sun Prairie's case, unfortunately, lost the match. And the team that was trailing each time went to the other lane and immediately found success, which helped propel them to either get close and make it a match, or in the case of Sheboygan, win the match.
I want to warn you before we get started here, because we know this every year and we're going to remember it this time.
It's gonna get loud.
These Antogo fans love to get loud all around us. They surround us in the maroon.
They do.
The Baraboo team called the Thunderbirds. You think that's not a team that's going to get a little loud, a little rowdy? This is going to be high on the decibel reading at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley for this Division II championship match. You can already hear the excitement.
Yeah, pumped up.
Let's go. Division II, title on the line, 2-game total pin count. The Antogo Red Robins, 4 of the 6 bowlers are seniors. This is in many ways a last dance for so many of them, so we'll see if they can cap off an incredible run in their careers at Antogo with a state championship. But it begins for Baraboo on the left side on lane 6. 9 count out of the gates, and we're underway in the Division II Boys Team Championship match.
And folks, just one note, please share if you have not already. Please share this link. Let everyone know that the boys division matches have begun here at the Wisconsin State High School tournament. You can watch it obviously live on BowlStreamTV. Also, archives will be available. In fact, if you missed the singles this morning, you can already go back and watch it, of course, on the BowlStreamTV YouTube channel. And if you want to go back and watch the girls division, you can do that by watching simply this link and scrolling backwards.
Tyler Poker comes up short on the first spare attempt for Baraboo. Open frame in the first, but if you're going to have one, that's where you want to get the nerves out of the way. I would gladly share that, Emil, and I was hoping my counterparts from Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon, Jason Wilde and Mark Tauscher, would also share it, but it seems like all they're doing is sharing bowling puns on Twitter.
I saw Mark post a little tweet.
So we've got, he couldn't spare any puns right now.
Are you going? Are you working the show tomorrow?
Oh, sure, of course I am. We'll be in good shape tomorrow. I'll get their minds out of the gutter.
That's great.
Nice.
Baraboo with its first strike of the afternoon. Antogo with a spare in the first frame. Here we go. Riley Gettner steps up for the second frame toss for the Antogo Red Robins, undefeated on the season, a 10-0 record, champions of District 9.
Nice.
And that's a good line right away, coming way across the lane, bringing it right into the pocket. We've seen bowlers like that, with that style, have success last night, this morning. And now here we go, Gettner with a big strike for Antogo.
That was a fantastic shot, too.
Yeah, aced it.
Another two-handed bowler for Baraboo here in frame number 3 with a good shot that leaves the 10-pin standing in the corner. That is Trayton Lepasic, another senior. 5 seniors on the Baraboo roster as well. So very experienced teams meeting here. Unlike the singles championship earlier this morning, where of the 10 bowlers, there was only 1 senior in the field.
Right. Five seniors.
Yeah, this
You don't see
Baraboo
that a
team,
lot.
they want to go out strong.
All right. It's not a bad 8.
Let's see if Baraboo can cap off the spare here. Yep. I love how into it they all
I
get.
love it.
Gigi, you gotta love that too.
That literally would be me. I love it. I'm here for the energy.
I mean, this is what you build all season for. When you're dreaming of like getting back, and especially for bowlers who have been on this stage before, like both of these teams have had, and they've gotten so close to winning the state championships. Like you spend all year thinking about what are we going to do when we get back to that exact moment.
Exactly.
This is it, and it's going to flood over in that emotion. It
Right.
comes out so expressively, and the fans embody it too. That's what makes this event so fun.
Yes, this is what we want to see. We want to feel it.
Open frame in the third for Antogo, so a 48 count for the Red Robins. Baraboo trying to capitalize. A strike would give them a 1-pin lead early.
Nice.
And that's exactly what they get.
If you just joined us for the first time and you perhaps missed our girls team division matches, here's what the team division has been bowling on. The 40-foot Stonehenge pattern, 23.75 mils. Take a look at this graph and then kind of look at where the players are playing. All right, giving it to the right. Oh, wow. Well, that is just a brutal break.
That's not a time you want to drop a 7-10 split. First ball of the state championship match.
I would prefer the 9-pin in this instance. Even though we've been talking about them, I would definitely prefer that right now.
He just left a wrap 7-10.
That doesn't bowling.
Which is just unbelievable.
That's Grant Praslevitz, who was in the singles competition earlier today. Praslevitz finishing in the 3rd position. $300 scholarship from the USBC Association, Phil Laporte Scholarships. Really talented bowler leading this team. Takes the 1. So a couple of open frames back-to-back for Antogo, and Baraboo has a chance to take its first commanding lead of this match if they can get out in front here. Fifth frame.
Nice.
And that's a double.
Oh, God.
And now we've got another celebrity shot from a member of the BCAW staff. Robert Vader decides to throw the ball this time. So former state champion Robert Vader decides he's going to throw that ball, and there's no more clutch shot that he's ever thrown at the Wisconsin High School Bowling Championships, just like Roger Dalkin earlier, than throwing the ball to clear the pin out of the gutter. It's an important role. Someone's got to do it.
Right. Everyone has a role, and it's important.
Not all heroes wear beige.
That's great. Oh.
So a momentary stoppage while we cleared the score. Now here comes Jack Stager, singles finalist last year, anchor bowler for this really strong Antogo program. Came up a little bit light with an 8 count, makeable spare on the left-hand side, but as we've said all day, on this oil pattern, it's not a pattern that bowlers are used to bowling on all season long. So coming across the lane to get 7 pins or some of these left side spares, it can mess you up a little bit.
Right.
Number one, that if you're just doing what you're used to doing, throwing it very evenly across, but also if you overthink it.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, too, some advice when people ask, I'm like, you know, depending on what you're bowling on, yeah, but like bowling is bowling no matter where you go. You know, just try to keep it simple and focus on like what you do best. Nice
Stager takes it head on with a line drive and knocks down both pins. Midway home in game number 1 of the 2-game total pin count championship match. Baraboo with the advantage, working on a double. Flip the lineup back to the number 1 bowler, and that's exactly how you draw it up. 4-5-1, 3 strikes in a row.
I would hate to be the first person on that team who got a high five.
Yeah, you got to watch out.
Always high five with your non-bowling hand, just in case. And speaking of which, here we go, flipping the lineup, and maybe that's the antidote for Antogo to get back into it.
Nah, that's a good one.
We've seen this movie before, though. Teams start off very strong. You know, I'd like to see, in this case, for Baraboo, I'd like to see them finish the game in this manner because obviously you won't be counting out Antogo.
Right.
And again, the way it's been going when teams make their lane switch, it's been tough sledding for the opponent moving over.
And I want to see how Antogo deals with the urethane that has been thrown on the left lane.
Good shot. Riley Gettner is having a good first game here.
I'll tell you, that young man, even though he's two-handed, you can see at the bottom of the swing his right hand and his wrist just flicks perfectly, and he's going to throw a lot of strikes in his career.
Can Baraboo keep it going?
Wow!
5 in a row for the Thunderbirds.
Again,
I love it.
Andy
The
Baraboo,
intensity.
they have to strike out. Like that has to be their mentality. We need them all because we know Antogo's gonna make a run.
Right.
Trayton Lepasic hammers it home for 5 in a row for Baraboo. Messenger does not take out the 10 for Antogo. Cooper Rickard couldn't get it to carry over in the 8th frame.
Like 5 pins went in that direction. Like.
How did it miss?
I know.
So now a pressure situation on the 10-pin, single-pin spare. Gotta have it to keep it close because Baraboo has put together a heck of a run here in the second half of this game.
Oh, good reset. I think that's one of the most important things, just bowler, athlete, whatever. When you're up there, if you feel like I should stop, you gotta stop. Because, you know, most of the time you're gonna go up there and it's just, you gotta stop. Just take the extra couple seconds and then go from there. Because there's times where, in my mind, I'm like, I should stop, and I never did. And the result was terrible.
I had a coach who once told me you should just keep going because you think about it more and you overthink it if you do that. And I said, no, like,
Really?
I want to be mentally prepared for the shot. Like,
Yeah.
I disagreed with that. It's like, I would rather take the stop and
Right.
like reset and like cleanse yourself essentially and
Yeah, go
do it
again.
again.
Because sometimes it's like, it might be physical, like, oh, my feet were too quick. Like, I know it's not going to be a good shot. Just take an extra second and go again.
Converting the spare in the 8th frame for the Antogo Red Robins. Can Baraboo get 6 in a row?
Wow.
Yes! On fire in game 1.
They didn't come to play.
They're not here for the play. If Antogo, I was going to say, if we can find a strike in the 9th, 206 would have been great.
Oh, again?
Are you kidding me?
Wait, did one fall? Or no?
Yeah, I think they're good. Well, the 7 pin went down.
That was a glitch.
Oh,
so
okay.
it does belong.
Technical glitch.
So it's really just a 10 pin.
Yeah, that was actually a replay of that.
Oh.
Of the previous one.
I was like,
You
he
got
did
us,
it again?
Emil. We were watching along on BowlStreamTV.
It wasn't intentional. I was deleting replays.
Oh.
Get rid of all the upgrades. No more graphics. No more replay. Nice spare for Grant Pravlovich after he could have been in a disastrous spot there after the 7-10 earlier. That's a good bounce back. And Pravlovich. I keep saying his name wrong. I don't know why. I apologize to the Pravlovich family. All right, 10th frame, Baraboo, 6 in a row. Could you imagine if they close out game 1 with 9 straight strikes?
Jeez. First one in the 10th. Wow.
So good.
They are really utilizing Urethane's ability to, not overhook at the end of the pattern.
Right.
And it is working well for him. .195 would really be good, though. 190 anything. So a couple of strikes in the 10th here from Jack would help.
Jack Steger.
Oh, wow.
Antogo can't catch a break in this game. Meanwhile, Alex Acevedo, the senior, 1 of 5 on the Baraboo roster. Working on 7 straight strikes. How about 8? That one pushed it a little too far right. You get excited, you get a little fast with the release, or you push it a little too far, starting to sense that a state championship is on the cusp. That'll happen.
Present moment, present moment.
So now I think that's actually a good reset for Baraboo. It's not too much going into the next game. Like it's on the second ball of the 10th frame after the strike. You get a chance. Okay, calm yourselves here.
Right.
Make this spare. Get back to basics. That'll put them in a good mental space heading into game 2.
I agree.
Steger needed that spare, and he got it. That's very important. They're going to be down probably close to 80 pins or so here. Maybe that's pushing it a little too high. We'll do the math here in a minute. 246 for Baraboo. That is a heck of a performance out of the gates.
62 pins if Jack strikes here in the 10th.
62, yeah, that's.
Well, I like 50. If down by 50 in a 2-game set, 62 again, you're asking for a lot of help from the opposing team.
We
at
saw
that point.
Waukesha North was down 48 after their Division II girls match. Stager gets 8 here. And they were able to get back to lose by 1. And it was because of a missed spare, among other things that happened throughout the course of the match. So 182 is the score for Antogo. The runners up a year ago in Wausau. Antogo does not want second place this year. They want to bring home a title. And it's a 64-pin difference that Antogo trails by heading into game 2. That's a lot to make up, but it's not like you can't do it.
Right.
They just need Baraboo to make some mistakes.
All right, Gigi, you're Antogo and you're Baraboo. All right, completely opposite ends going into this final game. Take us through kind of the mindsets, from your opinion, kind of the advice, if you will, for Antogo, who needs to get back in the match, obviously,
Right.
and then for Baraboo, who is trying to go ahead and just win it outright right now.
Baraboo, keep doing what you're doing. Well, first, we're on a new lane, so let's get information from the
Yeah.
lead. You know what we've been seeing. It's been a pattern today, so let's get the information that we need, maybe from our leadoff bowler. Let's try to settle down. Yeah, we just shot 240, but this is a new pair, new pair, so anything can happen. Let's try to control the pocket and go from there. Antogo, I feel like this is a must-strike situation. Like, they have to get some strikes. Well, really depending on what Baraboo does, but we need some strikes in a row if we're going to give ourselves a chance.
Alec Napkavage gets the first ball of game 2 of the championship match for the Antogo Red Robins. 8 count makeable spare, and that's a good spot to start for Antogo. Every spare counts the same in frame 1. First ball, Baraboo trying to keep the big thunder rolling.
All right.
And they just couldn't quite get the messenger to take out the 10 pin.
We saw that a little bit too with Antogo on this pair, like a couple times. So who knows? This pair could actually be maybe a little tighter. We never know.
Antogo needs to stay clean, first and foremost. And of course, as I say that,
Black cloud
chops it. Yeah, should have known. Tough start for the Red Robins. And Baraboo now, I think they're starting to count the frames.
What a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been
They got to change the score.
Hey, that's true.
Yep.
Score change.
They have been the aggressor.
No doubt about it. And for a team that, again, ran the step ladder yesterday as the number 4 seed, winning all of those games yesterday, that's a long. Think about the day Baraboo had yesterday. They bowled 15 games of qualifying. They sat around waiting to find out if they were going to make the step ladder final. They make the step ladder final. They got to bowl the first game of it, the second game of it, the third game of it, and then they got to go to a roll-off in the final match last night to see who gets to play today. That's an emotionally draining day.
Draining.
It's a physically exhausting day.
Well,
and now they get to reset and come in here and try and win a championship, and they throw 8 in a row.
As Roger gets another cameo here.
I like the follow through.
I'm starting to think Roger's asking for it. I think it,
Yeah, I was here last night, so were you, Jesse, and Gigi. You were here throughout the day, and when we got on, just in our pregame, I'm like, Baraboo bowled very well last night. They made a lot of noise and kept moving up the ladder, and I'm like, I think they're in a roll-off too.
Right.
Yep. Riley Gettner has the hot hand for Antogo in the second frame. He's the number 2 bowler. He struck in game number 1 in both frames, and now here he is 3 for 3 now with a strike in the second to start game 2. And if you needed a bounce back frame for Antogo, that's exactly who you wanted delivering that ball right there. Solid strike for Baraboo, capitalizing on the spare. A.J. Wolf. Check out the hair for A.J.
Yeah.
You like that?
That's team bowling. Right
Yeah.
Talking about haircuts.
So we always had at Muskego High School, there was a group that would always shave their heads when they went to state track. And I think they claimed that it made them more aerodynamic. But then, because it was outside at UW Lacrosse, they would get sunburnt on their heads then every time they went up there. Because they're out in the May sun without hair.
Nope.
Good 9.
And Baraboo, they're in a comfortable position here as long as they can continue to make their spares.
Yes.
Now, Antogo, you got to be careful because Antogo's already got 2 strikes in a row here. If they can get a string of 4, 5, 6, then you start to worry a little bit. But as long as Baraboo keeps this clean, I think that's the message. Don't do anything ridiculous, and you should be in good shape.
Uh-oh. Good spare.
Hung on the right side, and
That
that's
scared me.
3 for 3 clean for Baraboo to start game 2. Praslowitz, state singles finalist, 3rd place earlier today. Needs a strike.
Oh.
He just can't buy one here. And they all look like good balls for the most part.
That's what I say too. When I throw one and it doesn't react the way I want to, I'm like, that was good. Until it hit the pins, and I'm like, what happened?
It was all good till it hit the
I
pins.
just like, that was a good shot. All right.
And 4th frame, 9 count, working off the spare. Again, not the worst thing for Baraboo as long as you make them.
You know, Baraboo's giving Antogo enough of an opportunity by not being able to string strikes yet. Right, for them, it's been obviously 9 spare strike now, 9 spare, 9 spare. And what Gigi was talking about earlier, like, hey, Antogo obviously needs to come out with a string of strikes.
Yeah.
They've got 1 double, so it's a slow process, but
Praslowitz took care of business. Baraboo
It's
does
fair.
the same.
I feel like either team could get hot at any time, so.
it's a confident group.
Yeah.
Baraboo and Antogo, and I like Antogo. They came over. Yeah, the coaches came over. You know, not necessarily sportsmanship, but just thanking us and everyone else for being here, putting this on. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we always do, and you know, Antogo's a team that's been here enough that knows the significance of this stage, and it's our pleasure to be here bringing it to all of you because we know how important it is for so many people to watch and experience, even if you can't make it here to Green Bay or wherever the state championships may be.
Right.
Stager with a big strike in the 5th. By the way, I did want to mention that it was Cameron Morris, a junior for Baraboo, in the number 4 position. So as many seniors as they do have that are trying to go out as state champions, it's a junior who's in a critical spot in the lineup here for the Thunderbirds. 5th frame shot. Baraboo in control. That's the opening. Okay.
Allie's got to have one here. Got to have one. Got to make the adjustment.
Uh-oh.
Chop to 3-6 in the 1st frame.
Alec Napkavich to keep Antogo in the game.
He does it. He does it.
That's a great clutch shot.
He does it.
That is a bowler's dream right there. When you see your opponent do that and you're next, especially considering the circumstances, it's like it's my time.
I was often in the 1 position in my high school career when you're licking your chops
Oh.
when you see the anchor bowler for the other team leave something. You're like,
Man,
oh, heck yeah,
this
here
is
we go.
that moment for Alec brought back a lot of memories for me, especially collegiately, because I bowled in the leadoff role 95% of the time.
All right, so an open frame for Baraboo in the 5th. They have an 86 coming in brand new to start the 6th frame, and a much-needed bounce-back strike, exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Antogo pretty much needs to strike out, and then they need Baraboo to make another mistake.
Easily right there, too. The momentum could have just shifted.
Yep.
The bowler who just went here in the 6th frame could have maybe opened again, but I'm glad that he didn't, you know.
Again, 64 pins was the deficit for Antogo after 1.
Gettner hasn't missed yet.
Oh!
How about that?
That 7th, it fell forward.
How about a late love tap there? It fell forward.
Yeah.
Riley Gettner, have a day.
I mean,
4 for 4
I was going to say,
strikes.
he's perfect. What an answer.
Nice.
Wolf comes up.
I think he's 4 for 4, too, with strikes.
A.J. Wolf, the freshman.
He got 2 there and 2 here.
For a team consisting of 5 seniors, it's a junior and a freshman helping lead the way for Baraboo. Brady Rickert in the 8th frame for Antogo. They have 3 in a row. Need to keep it going to have a chance to come back.
No!
They're not going down quietly.
Okay.
Look how fired up this Antogo squad is. They're feeling it now.
Nap time.
Emil, time for math.
You know, unfortunately now Oh.
Gonna get it.
Oh!
Oh, yes! Better late than never.
Wow. He said, we're here. What I heard was, I'm him.
Yeah, that's what he
said. That's what I heard.
There are two ways that teams can respond to a run that Antogo is going on when you have a 64-pin lead. One is to start to get tense and make a mistake, and the other is to flex.
Right.
And Baraboo is flexing here in the late stages of game 2.
Can't see. Oh.
And that's going to leave a washout. Oh, and one fell late. Oh, that's, wow.
Oh, wow. Is that the one?
A 1-4-10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I think that's my first time seeing that ever.
The max was 258. It was prior to that shot.
That's Baraboo can pretty much lock it in right here with Cameron Morris.
Wow. Wow.
And that right there was a team understanding the moment.
Yes.
I'll politely say it. You get a little run out. That's we know what just happened.
Grant Praslowitz again.
Give it a run.
Having a tough day.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
Open frame. And the Baraboo Thunderbirds will be your 2024 Division II Boys Co-ed Team Champions.
Wow.
Well, these 2-game matches obviously very quick, but we've seen just about everything you can see, and now we've seen a team start hot and then continue that through a full 2-game match. This time it's Baraboo.
Let's take a moment here and celebrate Jack Steger, a senior.
Young man can play.
This is his final frame of high school bowling. He has had an amazing career leading this Antogo team that has been so good for so long. Take that out, come on.
Good shot.
Heck of a run for Jack, heck of a run for many of these Antogo bowlers. Napcavage, Brady Rickard, Riley Gettner, Steger, all seniors. And for the second straight year, they will finish second at the state championship. They will look back on this, and it's going to hurt today, but they will look back and be proud of back-to-back runner-up appearances. As good a run as you could almost have for so many teams that are so good across the state trying to get just to this point.
Yes. Oh my God, they're taking photos before the match is officially over.
The celebration is on for Baraboo as Steger connects on his spare, and he'll get one last chance to hit a strike.
I don't think I've seen that before. Oh, nice.
And they're getting a few extra bowlers involved to say that everybody was part of the championship run for the Baraboo Thunderbirds.
I think that's cool too, you know, when a coach allows a player to go. Because I remember there were times, especially my freshman year, I didn't really bowl until the national championship, which was kind of crazy. But, you know, I was in those situations where maybe I got a fill shot here and there. So to be able to involve everyone, I think is pretty cool.
That was Austin Michael who came up with the spare for Baraboo. Steger's final shot. And that's how it ends for Antogo. They come up just short. Back-to-back runner-up finishes for a proud Antogo Red Robin bowling program. They are so good, and they have a lot to be proud of. But today, the Thunderbirds are the champions. Baraboo runs the ladder, including a roll-off.
Impressive.
Last night. What a run for Baraboo.
I think when you add that part to it, what they did last night to get here really, you know, brings that context.
And if I remember correctly, Emil, last year in Waukesha, I believe it was Watertown that won the roll-off.
Yeah, I think you're
and
right.
they went on to win the Division I championship. So back-to-back years, if that's correct, the team that won in the roll-off in the stepladder finals went on to win the whole thing.
Wow. History repeated itself, just with a different team.
Congratulations to the Baraboo Thunderbirds, the winners.
I love this format
of the Division II championship. It's intense.
Yeah.
It's dramatic. It's exciting. It's so much fun, and it's why we keep coming back for more every single year. Baraboo wins the title, which leaves one championship match remaining.
Get a quick look inside the venue again. And that's just to the right, to the high side of things.
Isn't that great?
Storm doubles still
That's
taking
amazing.
place.
And that's the cool thing that we don't talk much about, and we should talk about it more on these state championship broadcasts, that, you know, this place packs in on Friday for the singles event, and then this first squad comes in. More of the local community is usually part of that. On Saturday, you've got 2 squads bowling 15 games, plus you've got the singles qualifying round 2 for those who make it. You've got the stepladder finals tonight. Saturday's the huge day. Championship Sunday explains itself. But on the other end of the bowling alley, whether we're in Ashuwaubenon or Wausau or Appleton, wherever we've been, you have this entire Storm Doubles tournament happening on Sunday. For many of the bowlers whose teams did not qualify for these championships, they still get to do some extra bowling here, make the trip up here worth it, and have a chance to win some more scholarship money. And you do it with one of your best friends on your team.
Right.
Or maybe one of your best friends from another team.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
so much fun, and it's one of the great other components of the high school bowling state championship weekend that we don't talk nearly enough about, the Storm Doubles tournament.
There's so many people here. Like, I'm just staring like, wow. Oh, man.
I hope the fire marshal doesn't show up.
No, no, no. I know when I was here Friday, it was packed.
Yeah.
I came over to 1 and 2 thinking I'd be able to record a little bit from the side, packed with people. I had no chance. I'm like, this is crazy.
Wall to wall.
Yeah.
And it's wall to wall here on Championship Sunday, too. We've had an outstanding day, starting with the singles championships a little bit earlier in the morning. Again, it's always the same type of vibe every time we do this, Gigi, where the state singles championships, you start with that 5-4 matchup and you do the entire stepladder final in the morning. Everyone's tired from the weekend.
Yes.
Everyone's got a cup of coffee in hand or a Pepsi from the bar, and they're just sitting around like, okay, what are we waking up here to?
Yeah.
And then you get into the intensity of that match, and as it rolls on, as the teams roll in later on, by the time you get near the final round or maybe the second to last round of that singles match, this place gets loud again, just like it's been all weekend.
It's like you get here tired and the energy transfers to you from the players, and you got all the energy now.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, everyone is tired.
Can always push through when you know that it's for a championship on the line.
Exactly.
One match left to go. Roger Dalkin making the announcements here for everybody. I'm guessing that means I'm going to have to make an announcement at some point, too, of the teams that are coming up. So I'm going to take my headset off and make sure I'm ready to do just that. We'll be back here in a moment for the Division I Boys Co-Ed Team State Championships on BowlStreamTV.
Smooth transition.
That was great.
I really like Jesse Nelson.
I love his voice.
I'm just saying it now because he can't hear me, so I won't give him too many compliments. No, but honestly, I've really had it's been a pleasure getting to know him, getting to work with him, and just like anything else, you know, chemistry is important, and the more you work with someone or get the reps, I kind of know what Jesse's working with now. Like, I know what he's thinking typically in certain situations. I know when to kind of jump in and out.
Right.
Even just working with you today in an extensive time, like now I can figure out, all right, so if we work together in the future, I know what to expect from Gigi. I kind of knew, but sometimes, you know, a person's normal personality doesn't translate over into like a broadcast setting.
Yeah.
Some people kind of be like, okay, I'm going to lower it a little bit, if you will, be more reserved, but not you, which I love. It's
like,
perfect.
I'm here for it. It's every
Perfect.
shot.
It's perfect.
I see a couple different balls. Oh, I see a UFO alert if some people in the chat are curious. The last match was the match that just completed. I saw a Nova. I saw some urethane, pitch blacks. I saw a purple. I see some harsh realities on the rack now. IQ Tours, Summit Peaks. I see the blue ball, the blue non-urethane ball.
Oh, the new blue?
Okay, yeah, that one. I see a Magic Gem. So I see a little bit of everything from, you know, the different companies. And then last match, too, someone on Baraboo actually threw, they had a motive ball. So for those who might have been curious for, you know, like ball choices from the players.
Want to again thank everybody for tuning in as Jesse is set to handle our pregame or pre-match announcements, introducing the teams.
Roger. All right, everybody, one championship match left to go. The Boys Co-Ed Division I Team State Championship. Please welcome our teams down to the lanes. The number 3 seed, the Sheboygan South Red Wings.
Nice.
And the number 1 seed, Bayport Pirates. Good luck and good bowling to all of our competitors this afternoon. Lanes will be turning on momentarily for 10 minutes of practice. Good luck.
Folks, if you are watching and if you don't mind sharing, simply letting us know in the chat where you're watching from, what city, state, if you are local to Wisconsin. I'd love to know how many people are supporting this wonderful tournament. Big thanks again to the BCAW, Bob's Business, Storm Bowling, Wisconsin High School Bowling Club, Pepsi, Cubic AMF, and everyone involved. A lot of people, a lot of staff, a lot of time, a lot of effort going into this. Roger, Patrick, Yvonne, the entire kind of executive team, from president on down. I actually even saw that Fox 11 last night as I was setting up. Looks like they were here at some point either yesterday or Friday. What's today? Today's Sunday.
Sunday.
So
see?
yeah, Saturday or Friday.
It's a blur.
Friday or Saturday. They were
It's called
here.
Championship Sunday,
Yeah.
Emil. Come
Hey,
on,
listen,
buddy.
man, you know. Once I get into the broadcast setting, I don't know what day it is anymore.
Yeah.
I just know what day I leave. Like
You're
that's how it goes. But the Fox 11 was out here and covered the tournament as well.
Oh,
and
nice.
so I saw that. They did a piece on it in local media. So, again, just phenomenal work, phenomenal effort. And as Jesse mentioned, talking about the Storm Doubles, again, another event that is happening adjacent to what's going on here in the finals, still giving competitors an opportunity to compete, even if they did not advance into the finals. So thank you so much to everyone in BCAW and across the state. And certainly the host center. I want to thank the Orvis family. Matt and Ryan did a fantastic job here at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley. They are known hosts, if you will, not only of this event, but they've hosted tons of professional tournaments as well. That will continue. They've got the USPC Queens coming up in May. They host, of course, state and other local events. So big thanks to them as well.
This will actually be my first, well, this is my first time in the center, but then it will be my first time bowling, of course, Queens here, because I did learn that the PWA was here like a couple, maybe 2015 or 14?
Yeah, 2015 the Queens was here, and 2017 the Players Championship was here.
Okay, so that was before I started on the women's tour.
Look at that. Look at you now.
Oh, my God.
A veteran.
Jesse, what do we got on these squads here?
Yeah, Bayport and Sheboygan South. Two teams going toe-to-toe in the Division I Team State Championship. Bayport's unbeaten on the year, 11-0, champions of the District 8 division. That's the greater Green Bay area, so this is kind of a home game for Bayport. For those unfamiliar, Bayport High School is in Suamico, which is another neighboring community to Green Bay, so that's one of the, just a little bit northern, maybe a little bit west of Green Bay. We pass it as we're going up north all the time when we go up to my wife's cabin. So that's where Suamico is located. It's about 10 minutes, maybe 15 from the Ashuwaubenon bowling alley here. They're really good. Strike percentage 55%, fill percentage 84%. They don't miss much. 209 average on the season. They qualified with 3,025 pins total over the 15 games of qualifying. A 202 average for the Bayport Pirates. They're a great team. No seniors. So it's sophomores and it's juniors that are leading Bayport in this title run, and they're going to hope to replicate that, I'm sure, next year, but they've got their eyes set on a title here in their home city, more or less, right away. Meanwhile, Sheboygan South, 8-2 record on the regular season, tied with Fond du Lac for the best record of Division I teams in District 7A. This is not your average Division I boys team state championship finalist. They averaged just a 177 in the regular season. They qualified with a 193 average, which was good enough for the third position in the stepladder over the weekend. So they defeated, this is why I'm getting all choked up. This is why I'm having a tough time, guys. They defeated the Muskego Warriors yesterday. That's my alma mater.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get Muskego here, and I was going to be a homer in the broadcast, and I was going to be like, that's my squad. So I'm not mad at Sheboygan South. It's not their fault that they played Muskego. I really wanted my squad for the first time.
Yeah.
They ended up finishing in 4th. That's the best they've ever done at state. Congratulations to Muskego. Sheboygan South, more about them. They defeated Muskego 366 to 336, and they trailed after game 1, 183 to 147.
Wow.
So that's a team that faced the adversity in the stepladder of coming back from behind against a really good Muskego program to beat them. Then they went on to beat Waukesha West, another school out of District 1, in the semifinal match number 3 late last night, 399 to 385. So they've been in close matches, they've been in tight matches, and they've been bowling some of their best bowling of the year here at the state tournament. Sheboygan South, the Red Wings, looking for a chance to upend Bayport and take home the state championship.
Appreciate that breakdown, Jesse. And interesting notes about Sheboygan. And just based on the average, you're right. You say, okay, well, they had clearly got some work done this weekend, and that's why, you know, being able to just be in the state tournament allows you the opportunity to potentially win it, right? Doesn't matter what you did to get here, is or to a degree, I should say, but, you know, winning that district, and, you know, as you get to this point, then all bets are off.
Yeah. I mean, this is a team that averaged, I said, 177 in the regular season, but they averaged 193 at state.
It only matters when it's postseason time,
Yeah.
baby.
Yes.
You got to be playing your best in March.
I think if we're going to keep our college basketball analogies going, that makes them Michigan State.
You already know.
Michigan State. They're a 10 seed, doesn't matter. They're getting to the Sweet 16. You know that. And that's exactly what Sheboygan South has done, earning their way here to the championship match here on Championship Sunday.
Yo, Gigi, one thing that was very evident in our previous match was the use of urethane.
Right.
And kind of right off the bat, I'm not seeing a ton of it, and it could just be, you know, I haven't seen every player throw a shot yet, but it doesn't look like, you know, urethane might be, you know, a common denominator, if you will, in this one. Although it's not urethane, because that's why it's called not urethane, the new blue.
Yeah, exactly.
The new blue hammer.
That's the only one that I saw. You
Right.
know, not urethane. Other than that, I've seen a little bit of everything: pearls, hybrids, solids. I haven't seen a urethane at all. So this should actually be really interesting too, to see how the lanes break down and how the players play.
One thing I did want to mention to you, Emil, is that Sheboygan South, although we talk about the average, we talk about how much better they've been at the state tournament, maybe that's because of their state tournament experience the last couple of years. They finished 3rd place here last year at Dales Weston Lanes in Wausau. At the Super Bowl in Appleton in 2022, Sheboygan South finished 4th place in that state tournament. So they have been now 3 straight years in the stepladder finals. So it really is Michigan State. Doesn't matter what seed they are. Doesn't matter what the regular season stats are. They're flipping the switch when it comes to the postseason, and that's exactly what they've done, being here now for a 3rd straight year.
I think that goes certainly to the players, but obviously the players turn over, and so I don't know how long the coaching staff's been around, but I think that's a testament to the coaching staff continuing to keep the teams and the players in the right positions. You know, I talked to a couple collegiate coaches who often say every year, you know, their team typically starts maybe a little slower than other schools, but as the year progresses, you know, they kind of then kind of introduce, you know, that program's culture into the team. The buy-in continues to happen, and then when we get to March, this is where they perform at their best.
Yes.
And like that happens to a lot of programs. I'm not saying that's happening here with South Sheboygan, but what I am saying is, though, they clearly have a good formula. And it's produced results and top 5 finishes the last couple of years. Could this be the year that they get back on top?
Coaches Dan Rording and Dave Pash have been in this position for a while for this program. We were talking a little bit before our broadcast got started that 10 years ago he made his debut as a coach here at the state tournament here in Ashuwaubenon.
He probably didn't know that 10 years ago you also made your debut.
Here we are. I was like, me and you, Coach. Thanks for beating my squad last night. No, it was really great catching up with the coach. And you know, we talk about experience and leadership, and you're dead on, Emil. Like, that's so important when you get to this level and with what's at stake. And the players will come and go, but if you can have some solid leadership in place that can handle the adversity, manage it, know what's coming, expect the unexpected, and, you know, it's all organized chaos when you get to any big tournament like this. But if you can keep it on the tracks, be that steady guiding light for the rest of your team, that's always going to put you in a better position.
Right.
A couple more practice shots left. Again, thanks to, I see some notes from Pete there. Pete sounds like a very important figure in the history of BCAW. But yes, volunteers. I've never seen a tournament, as you said, Pete, that ran without at least one volunteer ever. So we thank all of the volunteers. Again, it takes a lot. It takes a village to raise kids, but it takes a village to run a bowling tournament.
So here's a BowlStreamTV special. So I can take my voice down.
Okay.
They asked me to thank Roger at the end of the announcements today. He's kind of been hogging the spotlight a lot, though, with the throwing the ball in the gutter a couple of times. He comes over, he's talking to us in the middle of our post-game commentary. Like, do I really need to give Roger more pub than what he's already gotten here today?
Roger's a star.
Kind of yucking it up, I think.
No, he is a star.
Dude can't even talk anymore.
That's
like,
what it is.
Take
He's
a
just
break,
a star.
Roger. Yeah.
He needs some tea.
Roger Dalkin, just an outstanding guy. We love working with him and the entire BCAW crew that's here every single year. We see the familiar faces, some new ones that have been, come in. We see bowlers like Robert Vader, who was here just a few years ago competing in this tournament. Now he's working with the BCAW. Just so much fun. So love seeing everybody here every single year.
Quick shout out to
They
Kale.
do a great job.
Kale as well. Kale Rush, who handles the vlog. He's responsible for the official vlog of this tournament every year, the last couple years. And so make sure you're following the BCAW Facebook page so you'll know when that vlog drops and you'll be able to watch and share. Speaking of sharing, hope you've shared this link. Please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to BowlStreamTV if you have not. We certainly appreciate it. Boys Division 1, boys co-ed.
There we go.
Here we go. God did not give me the gift to sing. Definitely did not. I'm going to stick to bowling.
Bayport is in the darker blue uniforms on the left-hand side of the screen, as you see it here on BowlStreamTV. The Sheboygan South program in the whiter uniforms with the black and blue color scheme existing for both programs. Wanted to make sure we identify that. And here we go.
Might be a purple urethane, I think.
Yes.
That's the only one that I think I've seen, if I am even right.
Just as we say, we didn't see a lot of urethane.
Yeah.
Right out the gates. There was one purple ball on the rack.
Okay, it could be that one.
That was Andrew Thalman who took the first shot for Bayport, a 9 count for Leland Benniger for Sheboygan South to begin the match. 2 games total pin count. They will switch lanes after game 1. Benniger across the lane.
Nice.
Nice and smooth and a spare to start.
You guys know there's only one way to kind of end this match, to end the day.
Let's hear it.
You know we need a tie.
We've literally never had a tie in at least the 10 years I've been part of this.
We need
and I don't remember ever seeing one.
We need one.
You're calling it now? That's what we're going to end up with
We
here?
need one.
Bayport wants none of that. They want to be perfect here.
I mean, just think about it, man. What the matches that we've seen and the momentum swings.
Crazy.
Losing by 1, coming back to win after down 30.
Oh, boy.
We've seen it all.
And we've got some good bowlers.
And then we've seen a team, obviously, go through 2 games, essentially kind of, unfazed, if you will. Let's go for the whole gauntlet.
Zach Maldonado with a big strike for Sheboygan South, first strike of the match.
If we do have a tie, I think we would have all our bases covered today.
I want to tell you. That's what we got to do.
Jamison Whiting, 2-handed bowler, Bayport.
Oh, gosh.
Thought he was going to get a couple of pins to carry over. Instead, he leaves 2.
Good break.
I thought so.
First adversity of the day for the Bayport Pirates. Meanwhile, Kyle Helling. Brooklyn.
He said, take that, take that, take that.
And that's the type of break. We were just talking on the other end of this in the last match, but now if you're Bayport and you think you had a good ball that ends up with an 8 count, and then a bad ball for the other team is a strike, that's the kind of thing that can mentally start to get after you, too.
And honestly, as a bowler, that can, and we've all bowled, and so that can, get into your head ever so slightly, and it's more of it's like a nuisance kind of thing.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Just controlling the negativity, the positivity. Try to streamline it as
It's like,
best you can.
why didn't mine do that? Like, oh gosh, when are my hits gonna fall?
Connor Ness is a sophomore.
Oh.
And his first shot in the fourth frame. Double on either side. It's a tough break. Maximus Martinez.
Love that name.
Wow!
Fiery.
So I gotta admit, when I record the announcements for these competitions, I always pick one or two names that I do find particularly appealing. Maximus Martinez, #1 in my power
just stands
rankings
out
this year, no doubt.
Perfect.
Just flows.
There's a lot of names we cover over the ground in the 3 days when we're introducing everybody. That was #1. So only a 1 count in the fourth frame. It's an open frame. 71 is the score for Bayport through 4. Meanwhile, Sheboygan South working on 3 in a row. This is Levi Gabriel.
Shim. Ah.
Gabriels is a sophomore, and if his name sounds familiar, he was part of our singles competition last year in Wausau as a freshman. He's a very talented bowler, the anchor bowler for Bayport. 56% strike percentage on the year. 4 in a row for the Red Wings of Sheboygan South.
But that young man is.
He was into it. His veins were popping out.
Yes, indeed. It's go time, baby.
He said, I'm him.
Caden Bruggen is the anchor bowler for Sheboygan South, who hammers that one home.
Oh, he was throwing a summit peak, too. I like that ball. Oh! Jeez. I'm sorry. Oh, I thought he had it. Oh, man. That would have been cool to see. Instant replay.
Sheboygan South, not messing around.
And Bayport's got to turn it back on here. Goes quiet at the Ashuwaubenon bowling alley. 6th frame. And a 9 count. Okay, that'll help. Get things back on track for Thalman. Andrew Thalman, the #1 bowler for Bayport. Leland Benniger in the 1 position for Sheboygan South.
Wow.
5 in a row.
And a very good command on what this lane pattern is asking of them right now. Again, this is a fresh lane condition. I'll throw it on the screen here in just 1 second. Again, they are bowling on the fresh.
Nice.
Fair made, and there it is. And 40 feet, Stonehenge. This is the pattern for the team event throughout the weekend. A different singles pattern that we watched earlier this morning. Gigi, you said a word that is often used in the bowling industry. You said shim.
Yes.
What does that mean for those who may be unfamiliar with that term?
Like, hold, push, like, don't hook, stop, please. I need you to slow down. I don't want to split, all the above. So that last one, when I said that, it looked like it was a little bit high. So I was saying shim, so hopefully it could lay off a little bit, and maybe not leave him a split, maybe a 4-pin or something like that.
Jake Olson with that strike for Bayport. Now Zach Maldonado stops the string of strikes for Sheboygan South with a good 9 count.
Yeah, that was a good break, too, for Zach there. Because I think he missed left. I think he kind of knew it off his hand. And that's a very good 4-pin considering.
See? Shim.
It did shim.
Well timed. It looks like we've got a scoring correction to make here on Bayport's lane. They had all the pins reset. What do we got here? So we got the spare made for Sheboygan South. Oh, no, the strike, it was a strike in the 7th frame. So I'm not sure what we were looking at there, but nonetheless. Jamison Whiting, 8th frame.
Nice.
He'll take it.
Big shot. That's a big double.
And Bayport has a chance to close the gap here if they can string a few more strikes together at the end of this game.
Yeah, they got a max at 220, which sounds pretty good considering what Sheboygan South is looking at.
Wow.
Kyle Haling with an outstanding strike. Two-handed bowler, sensational.
Make a max at 269.
That is correct.
Wow. Okay, so if that were the case, they would only be down about 40.
I mean,
you know, you could come from that.
Yeah, 210, a strike here, and at least the first one in the 10th. Very important, I think, for Bayport.
Yes, need the pins.
4th position bowler is
Needs
Connor
it.
Ness. Doesn't get it.
Yeah, they kind of left, what, Big 4 or something along those lines? Maybe the Greek Church, one of the
One
other.
of the two, yeah.
And his previous shot in frame 4, and I think it's just, well, he's not going to be on this lane anymore. But he just needed to open his angle up a little bit, or I'm sure he's trying to project a little further right, just not getting it there yet.
Right. Oh, wow.
Maximus Martinez.
I tell you,
He didn't deserve that.
as much of a bad break as it was for him, it's a good break for Bayport.
Yes.
That is exactly what the Pirates needed, given the circumstances. Now, if they can make this little baby split, we're in business. Unable to do so. So, all right, we'll
Now
be able
things
to
have
compare the
changed.
open frames here in the 9th.
Way to get one.
Yep, Martinez takes the 1. 207 in the 9th for Sheboygan South. 156 in the 9th for Bayport. So it's about a 50-pin difference as it stands right now. We'll see what the final frame brings us as we turn to game 2. Levi Gabriels, anchor bowler for the Bayport Pirates, knocks down the first strike.
Nice.
Gabriels finished 5th place in the state singles finals last year in Wausau. Caden Brugink.
Whoa!
Got them all.
Get out of here. I felt like I was a part of the team. Oh my gosh.
A bad break in the 9th for Sheboygan South, a great break in the 10th. Strikes apiece with 2 balls left. Gabriels knowing every pin matters.
Nice. Good shot.
I like his demeanor.
It's very like, not me, just the opposite, just super like calm. I like it.
Yeah, well, and I think in the moment too, right?
Yeah.
Understanding that
He
knows, he needs all 3.
He knows, yeah.
Keep them as close as possible.
Brugink, a senior. Okay, well, Bayport has a chance to close the gap a little bit here.
Could be 40 pins.
Yep.
Strike from Bayport, and the count on this split here will be
And
40.
that was kind of the number that we had mentioned earlier, where you wanted to be at 40 at the turn. That's very doable. Gabriels, 3 for 3 in the 10th frame when Bayport needed it most at the end of game 1.
He seems very focused and locked in.
Brugink missed them both. So a 225-186 final to game 1.
How many pins is that?
39.
220 okay, 39.
So
yep.
you wanted to be 40 or less,
Yep.
they got that at 39.
Anything can happen.
And now the teams switch lanes and we get set for the final game of Championship Sunday in the Wisconsin High School Bowling State Championships.
Oh, I see a fast pitch. I haven't seen one of those. I don't know if he's throwing it, but it could be a spare ball. But I do see another urethane.
It's interesting too at the professional level, and obviously, Gigi, you know this portion where, you know, either yourself or like a ball rep or someone else is like looking at the next pair that you're going to and kind of scouting it a little bit, so you can have some type of knowledge when you get to that pair. You know, if it's hooking, you know, however many boards more or less or whatever it is, and you know, both teams got a chance to practice on both of these lanes. But, you know, it hasn't failed yet that the opposite lane or the opposing lane, the switch has been different for both teams.
Yes.
Will we see that again?
We'll have to see, because I don't know. I mean, all we could hope for is that the leadoff bowler, you know, just does his job to get it close, or, just, you know, something. Okay. More so, like, even if the ball doesn't react, but just know that you threw it well enough so you could tell your team, I threw it well, but this is what the ball did.
They're talking about it right now, actually.
See, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because if you don't throw it well, then it's, like, harder for your teammates to be able to make adjustments.
Jack Hubin leads it off for Bayport. Leaves 2, so makeable spares for both teams.
Shoot it.
That was close.
Good spare.
Skinny jeans.
I couldn't tell if he said this lane was slick or someone said something, but I think that lane to them might be a little tighter.
Hubin wants it.
Oh.
And chopped it.
That's tough.
So Bayport already facing a 39-pin deficit entering game 2. Now digs themselves a little more of a hole. Zach Maldonado.
Oh. Whoa!
How did that get that result?
Wow.
Oh, wow. Everything's going right for Sheboygan South right now.
That's every bowler's dream, to hit that high that you do that and don't go through the face. Meaning, for the people who might not know in the chat, going to the face, like leaving a split, a big 4, not a 210, a Greek church, something that you don't, something with a circle like that, but unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Jake Olson, second bowler for Bayport, a 7-10 split.
Replay.
Yeah, this
Hold! Lay off! Ah!
wow. Just collapses everything.
Yeah, the reaction's everything. Bounce.
All right, Bayport's in trouble. Back-to-back open frames. Already trailing by 39 entering this second game.
Got to get something started, at least stop the bleeding.
Sheboygan South with a strike in the second. Unable to double up on it there, so they're struggling to find the line on this lane early on.
So I'm curious if maybe they made a move off their leadoff bowler and maybe moved too much, or if they just stayed maybe where they were from the right lane.
Who will make the right adjustment first? Jamison Whiting gets 8.
3-6-10. Oh, I was gonna say we saw a little bit of trouble with that spare during the singles match. Singles matches, excuse me.
And that open frame in the third for Sheboygan South does give Bayport another opportunity to work its way back in. But they're gonna have to string some strikes together.
Yeah, they need some strikes.
Pivotal point in the match with the 4th and 5th bowlers for both teams coming up after. Jamison Whiting delivers this shot.
Nice, good spare.
Maximus Martinez
Oh!
gets 9.
Wiggled a little bit.
Can Connor Ness get all 10? Line with a lot of pin action, but couldn't get the final pin.
Oh.
Oh, no. Maximus Martinez, and we talk all day long about going across the lane when you're not used to this oil pattern.
Yeah.
Martinez got by it.
And the majority of the volume of this pattern is in the middle of the lane.
Exactly.
On a normal house pattern or what you're used to seeing all year long, you're probably going to make that easily.
Yep.
They throw that on the screen again. Like, it's just enough and just long enough to where if you do miss inside of target, especially looking at 2 pins and things on the left side of the lane, what we just saw can happen.
After back-to-back opens, a strike in frame 5.
Way to stop the bleeding.
Caden Brugink, one of the senior leaders of the Sheboygan South program. 45% strike percentage on the year, 79% fill. He and Leland Benniger. The 2 seniors that want state titles in their final high school bowling match.
Wow.
Levi Gabriels. That one broke late on him. And I think he was kind of fortunate to leave just those 2 pins.
I agree.
Absolutely. Went right through the face. Looked like it kind of got left a little later down lane, which helped.
So despite some of the turbulence early for both of these teams, they're relatively even.
I think it's also easy, too, to maybe see your ball do one thing and believe that I need to make this move. And then once you do that, the ball doesn't react. And you're like, wow, that was the wrong move. Then you have to go back in the other direction, you know. So that's why I think it's really cool when the players actually figure it out. Like, that's something that you want to see them be able to do on a consistent basis.
Levi gets the spare. Now flip the lineup one final time. Leland Benniger. That's the last shot he'll throw as a member of this team.
He made his adjustment because his first frame here, or his other frame, only other frame, was the 2-4-5.
Cuban coming straight in at it, and he got them all. Jack Cuban makes a good adjustment for Bayport. Strikes in the 6th, Sheboygan South stringing 2. And remember, they already have the lead of 39 coming into the game.
Yep, first game scores, bottom right of your screen. 2-game total.
Sheboygan South and its fans starting to see the end of the tunnel. Zach Maldonado.
Oh, okay.
He was confident. He left the 10, and he was confident. He was walking away, celebrating
I gotta
already.
tell you, I've been there before, right where Zach was.
Yeah.
Felt that one off your hand, thought it was good, and then like, what? Almost left an 8-10?
Like,
how is that possible?
Walk out at 8-10.
But a big break, though.
Yes.
For Sheboygan South, because that was potentially an open.
Jake Olson. That'll work.
At this point, you know, obviously Bayport will take any strike on whatever side.
Right.
I mean, you got 3 more frames and your season's over. It's no more figuring it out at this point.
That lane looks like it's hooking, which could be, remember what the players over here said about this lane's a little bit tighter, because everyone's shot, or majority of the shots in the right lane have been, or lane number, the lane Bayport's on has been like high.
Another good break too.
Lanes 8 and 9, so 9 would be the one there. Yeah, and, that's a 9 count for Haling in the 8th. So this is Bayport's chance. They've got to string these strikes. Jamison Whiting. .59% strike percentage on the year. He put it in a decent spot. He was asking for a little help, and he gets a 9 count.
Oh, that was huge.
Much needed spare for Sheboygan South, and if they can keep it clean, they're in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, if Bayport strikes there, they start to actually chop a little bit of that lead down, a little bit.
Right.
And then it gets interesting in frames 9 and 10, still with a little life.
Starts with making this spare.
Nice.
Jamison Whiting converts. All right. Crunch time.
They need, Bayport needs help in a lot of ways, and for Sheboygan South, they just got to remain clean.
Martinez opened in the fourth. Dangerously close to the outside.
Ooh.
Gets it to come back, and it's a 7 count, but there is a tricky one sitting behind the 2.
Yeah. That shot just looked a little fast. It could be like nerves, anxiousness. We're close. The match is almost over. You know, we're closer to winning. Because, you know, I saw him like mannerisms like, hey, calm down, too fast, you know. So, oh, sorry. Oh, my. Give him a break. Another 9-pin.
That's the one that Bayport really needed. And now Martinez converts the spare.
Wow.
And
That's
it's a
gonna do
formality.
That's going to do it. Well, how many 9-pins have we seen left in some tough spots?
At least 5.
You know, and again, in a 2-game total pinfall match, it is a sprint. And, you know, he was looking for not necessarily the ball reaction, but just trying to get it to the spot that he needed to down lane to get the proper reaction. He couldn't do that on the left lane in game 1, and then he does it here, obviously, still doesn't get rewarded.
It's like, dang it, give me a break. Wait, so was this the first? Nice.
Sheboygan South. They have been in the stepladder finals each of the last 2 years, but 3rd time's a charm. Sheboygan South will win the Division I Team State Championship.
Is this the first time the men and the women have won in the same year?
So it's technically a different program, Sheboygan South, than the Sheboygan area team that we saw for the girls earlier today.
Okay.
They're very similar, and you see even in the jerseys that they look fairly similar.
It threw me for a loop. I heard the name and the
technically
jerseys
with the co-op program being a little bit different with some of the schools that are involved, it's just a slightly different situation. But Sheboygan South as a whole having a heck of a day. And they'll party back in Sheboygan no matter where they want to go and celebrate at Lake Shore Lanes.
Nice. I'm learning. We don't have high school bowling in Rhode Island.
Congratulations to Sheboygan South.
Well, maybe you can, maybe because you're a game changer. And maybe, no, seriously, right? You're a person of change, and so perhaps you can be that person that can somehow get that started there.
We need it. We really do.
Well, I tell you, I bet you the good people here at the BCAW would love to help out.
Yeah. Nice.
The final shot to Keegan Williams, the freshman, for Sheboygan South. 181-171 in the final game. They win the Division I Boys Team State Championship. Congratulations to the Red Wings of Sheboygan South. Also a great season for Bayport and a lot of young bowlers. They will be back. I'm sure they would have loved to win this one, and it'll hit them a little bit here, but I think they also, you see just the reaction from the team knowing that it wasn't their day, and they'll have a couple more chances for some juniors and sophomores to help lead the charge for the Pirates in years to come.
Yeah.
Levi Gabriel's right at the forefront of all that.
What were the final scores? Did we get a chance to see
181-171 was the final score of match or game number 2.
171 for
Sheboygan South won it by 10.
Thank you.
Game number 2. So congratulations to Sheboygan South. Congratulations to Bayport. And now I guess is the moment of truth. If I thank Roger Dalkin for all he's done as we do our announcements here for our teams, as we hand out some hardware for the final time today at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley in the High School Bowling State Championships.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
That's going to go on the vlog.
That was fantastic. I need him to do it closer to a camera.
I don't know if he can do it again, honestly.
I know.
Might have been a one-time deal.
Thanks, buddy. Yes.
All right, I'm going to take my headset off, guys, so that I can make some announcements here in a moment.
Well, here it is. We talked about this, Gigi, at the top of the broadcast before this match began, and how many times, right, their experience got them to the top 5.
Yeah.
And Coach Dan just said, we got one, our first one. And so, again, the amount of time that the coaches put in and creating the right atmosphere and the right program to finally get one, that's real raw emotion. It was really cool to see.
It is. That's why you never quit. You know, even though you might have not done it the year before, you keep putting in the work. You know, eventually you'll get there, you know, hopefully, because things can happen. And then I feel like that's one cool thing about our sport. It gives you an opportunity like, yeah, I didn't get it this time, but I can also come back and begin again.
All right, we'll turn it over to Jesse Nelson. He's going to have our announcements for awards presentations.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all of our teams competing here this afternoon. Some high-quality bowling all weekend long, all season long. Before we hand out the hardware, let's thank the BCAW staff for being on hand with us all weekend long, including Roger Duncan leading the charge. Congratulations. And thank you for all that you've done. Especially that gutter ball you threw. It was fantastic. All right, teams, when I call your names, please come up to the approach. You'll get your medals and plaque, and then photos will take place just a little bit to the left as we see it, looking at it from here. First, let's start with Division II. Congratulations to this year's Division II Boys Co-ed Team State Runner-Up, the Antogo Red Robins.
I like the maroon. It's a pretty color.
It is a good color.
Yeah.
They have finished in the top 3 each of the last 3 years. Let's hear it again for Antogo. And please join me in congratulating the 2024 Boys Division II Team State Champion, Baraboo Thunderbirds.
Baraboo. For some reason, I want to call this team Caribou.
Let's hear it again for the state champions from Baraboo.
I know, I saw. I was like, oh. I think his hair was a good luck charm. I really do. I think the hair was a good luck charm.
Yeah, they did their thing.
They really did. They was rolling today.
I think last night, again, all the teams that they had to roll through in the step ladder to get to the finals.
Yeah.
You know, again, those things carry over.
2024 Boys Co-ed Team State. Let's try that again. Mike went over. Congratulations to our 2024 Boys Division I Team State Runners-Up, Bayport. Let's hear it again one more time for the Bayport Pirates.
Nice.
gentlemen, congratulations to the 2024 Boys Coed Division I Team State Champion, Sheboygan South.
Sheboygan.
That's so great.
I love to see the support. I really do.
I was going to say, talk about support systems. All the teams here and the individuals who've made singles, but every single team. I know it was packed, obviously, here on Friday, packed yesterday.
Let's hear it again for
Coach Dan.
Yeah.
Coach Dan to his faithful and supporting staff there. A lot of parents. Uh-oh.
Yeah. The friends, the family, the parents, the volunteers, the staff, all made for a great weekend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for Matt Reinhorst and the entire staff here at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley for taking great care and hosting an outstanding event all weekend long.
Wait, what am I doing?
Also want to thank Gigi Mason for Storm. She was here on behalf of Storm all weekend long. And she stayed as part of our BowlStreamTV broadcast for the entire day today.
Yeah.
Which you can go back and watch on BowlStreamTV.com thanks to Emil Williams Jr. for all the production that he does to make that possible. You can go back again, watch BowlStreamTV. You can search it on YouTube, find the Wisconsin High School Bowling State Championships. You can search it and watch on demand as you wish. Thanks again, everybody. My name is Jesse Nelson from ESPN Wisconsin. Congratulations to all of our champions and to all of our finalists here on Championship Sunday at the 2024 Wisconsin High School Bowling.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Have a cup of tea.
Oh.
All right, let's bring in Jesse Nelson.
I thanked him. I did it.
You did great.
Yeah, I did it.
You did.
Outstanding event. Always is. This day is so special for so many reasons to me because it was something that I was able to participate in. And it also, Championship Sunday was something I was not able to participate in.
Yeah.
Best I ever did was 5th place in my high school career. So to be able to be now for 10 years part of our broadcasts and part of this event in this way and seeing every year, you see so many similarities from year to year, but also every story is different for each of these bowlers, each of these coaches, and the road to get to the state championship and for the winners and even for the ones who don't win, but will look back so fondly on this time and remember the camaraderie with their teammates and the experience of bowling in this intense situation. It's so much fun, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it because it's just a special event that's unlike any other that I'm able to cover year-round.
Right.
Actually, Yvonne told me that this is actually BowlStreamTV's 10th year. So shout out to my guy Craig Elliott, who started that process. I still see Craig on a regular basis doing some other bowling-related items. And then, so for this to be year number 4 for me, 10 overall, wonderful, wonderful event. It's one of the best high school events. And I always say, I think this is the model for a high school state finals tournament.
Yeah.
At least Championship Sunday is perfect. Perfect from my estimation. Gigi, you hung out for the entire day.
Yeah, it was fun.
How was it in your seat watching from
No,
the
I
event?
loved it. I liked the format too because it wasn't too long. It wasn't too short. It was just, it like captivated the audience. I felt like for the right period of time, and then it was on to the next match. And the matches were crazy today too, so that added even more whatever to the day. So yeah, today was overall for me a great weekend, a great championship Sunday. And I'm definitely was super excited to be here.
I'm glad you said that, Gigi, because I do think if there's anyone watching these broadcasts from any other states trying to figure out how do they do this high school event, the BCAW didn't have this perfected yesterday, or maybe they did yesterday. They didn't have this perfected 10 years ago.
Right.
So there have been some changes that have taken place over the years, and they've made the evolution to make this event run as smoothly as they have year after year. Like, it didn't run the same way like it is now when I was bowling 15 years ago, no
Yeah.
doubt. But now that it is as smooth as it is and it gets people in and out, you get to experience the entire thing if you're a fan who wants to come watch your athlete potentially perform in the Division II finals, but you also want to see what the girls teams are doing earlier in the day, or you want to see what the
Yeah.
singles competition is. It provides that entire atmosphere for you to experience, and in a fairly narrow window of time given all the ground that it covers. So I'd encourage anybody, if you're running your own tournament, if you're looking to propose an idea to a tournament, reach out to this BCAW staff, and I'm sure they'd be happy to assist and share their experience.
Right. Great format.
Jesse, real quick, what's next for you? Where can people find you?
Oh boy, Wilde and Tausch every weekday 9 to noon. Jason Wilde, Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. I'm the producer of that show. I probably talk more than I should based on who you ask. Every weekday 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin. That's 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, ESPNWisconsin.com, and you can subscribe while we're on YouTube to the ESPN Madison YouTube channel
Nice.
to watch all of our shows every single day. High school basketball state championships in the state of Wisconsin 2 weeks away. Also, we'll be at the Cole Center, home of the Badgers, to call the boys basketball state championships 2 weeks from now.
And Gigi, earlier
Yes.
we were running through obviously all the things that you are part of and what you've created. Before we go, let people know where they can be following you and some of the programs and social media that you have as well.
Yeah, so everything is on jazzmason.com. Like, all links to whatever I do is there. So GAZMINEMASON. And then anything foundation related, it was also on my website too, but a link will take you there, is jasminemasonfoundation.org. But you can follow me like really quick on Instagram at Jasmine Mason and mostly I'm on, like, I feel like Instagram and YouTube a lot. I be on Facebook here and there, Twitter not so much, but go to my, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jasmine Mason at Jasmine Mason there, at Jasmine Mason on Instagram, and I believe on Facebook it's Jasmine Mason too, or Gigi Mason, one of the two. But yeah.
All right, folks, there you have it. For Jesse Nelson, Gigi Mason, Jasmine Gigi Mason. Thank you for watching BowlStream TV, and thank you again to the BCAW for having BowlStream TV back once more and again. I'm certainly looking forward to next year. What a wonderful privilege it was. What a day it was as we leave you with the shots of Sheboygan South celebrating their Division I Boys Co-ed Team Championship. Make sure you subscribe to BowlStream TV. You can watch all of the archives from both the team and singles events this morning. Follow BowlStream TV on both Facebook and Twitter as well. We will see you down the road. Until next time, for Jesse Nelson, Jasmine Gigi Mason, the entire BCAW staff, and everyone here at the Ashuwaubenon Bowling Alley, my name is Emil Williams Jr. This has been a presentation of the 2024 Wisconsin High School Bowling Championships. You watched it live and only on BowlStream TV. Good night.